There are 3 cheeseburgers takeout joints in the metro. Yeah, burrs. 3. 40th and Farnham in the Blackstone District, 168th in Harrison and Millard, and inside the Blue Sky Patio and Pickleball Complex at 107th and Pacific Street. And every single Cheeseburgers brings smash burgers, hot dogs, fries, shakes, and more to all of the hungry people of the ONE. It's a thing of beauty. Cheeseburgers, a takeout joint. Keep on trucking, people.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We continue to grow and add new customers. Many employers are looking for new ideas for their staff as people return to the office. Our pantry service is a great office amenity for staff and guests. Fresh food, snacks, coffee, water, and other beverages for employees and guests. Enhance your office experience with pantry service from Host Coffee. Learn more at hostcoffee.net.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over. Danced to another victim to the crossover. Cross him up and sit him down.
Time for the crossover. Your button doesn't work. Josh and
I got him,
Mike Schaefer.
Hey.
Hello, friends.
Hi, guys. John checked in on the stream earlier. It looked like he was enjoying a nice morning out on the lanai or something.
Did he
like
do the stupid thing where he posted? He has his camera set up.
No. He jumped in our stream yard.
Okay.
And was like, "Hey, just stopping by to see if this works in my earbuds." I'm like, "Okay, but I can see you, and I'm angry, and I don't like this.
Yeah. Last year we had him on, or 2 years ago, and he did his normal camera from his laptop, but then he logged on with his phone too, and just had his phone sitting there. Look at the sunset. Like, nobody cares, John. Nobody cares.
No, but I care. I just get irrationally angry when I see people having a better time than me.
Yeah.
I hate when people have a better time than me.
Understandable.
It's never fun when people have a good time.
No. If I'm not having a good time, I'm having a bad time.
Yeah.
We're locked in the middle of a coaching search. He's got a top 10 basketball team. Who looks really good, and he's in Hawaii.
And he's wearing shorts. I guess it is in the 50s today, so that's nice. Why do all of our headphones look like they're for little kids?
Because they probably are.
What is going on? We don't have any normal headphones anymore?
These are my backups.
This is hilarious.
Let's see if they work, because we're about...
Skull candy?
They are.
Oh, my gosh.
I got those in college.
We're
the
about...
white stuff on it.
Paint wearing these?
No, it's from my headphone bag. Because I put them in the same drawer. What? They just kind of rubbed off.
He doesn't need the bag.
Schaef, you were at one point in radio. Why don't you have it? We need.
Yeah, where'd you?
I think we're 0 for 4 on Schaefer attempting to wear headphones during this last 5 minutes.
It's been tough. And the good thing is, Schaef can hear clearly everything. So this is great. No problems whatsoever.
What?
How's that? Is that better?
I don't know. Doesn't seem like it's working. So.
What? I know those work. I just used them.
Well, obviously it's coming in a little now.
Okay.
Like this whole thing here that I'm pointing
up?
to on radio where people can see it.
You want to turn that thing up?
Nah, it's fine.
Okay.
We'll leave it.
Okay.
Works about a third of the time. The sound cuts in and out.
It's true.
Because it's a piece of crap.
Yeah.
It has been for
and that microphone is
the entire
bad
time I've
too.
been
It randomly will just unplug itself.
Yeah. We're going to have a great show today, Schaef.
I'm
But at
not
least
too
your
worried
button
about it. I
works.
can't get too far away.
That's true.
But that's all right.
Oh, Nick's leaving again.
He might be looking for the headphones he used when he was painting. Like,
the other headphones. The other painting.
So I want to throw this. I have this
Okay.
idea.
All right.
I want to throw it at you. You guys can fight over it. Maybe neither of you want it. I feel like it's a pretty good thing that you can just throw into your usual day.
Okay.
And the name of it is called Truth or Tweet, with the idea of it being built around
Truth or Tweet.
Elon Musk's Twitter and all of the rumors and stories coming out of it.
Okay.
So today, for instance, I came across this tweet from Nate the Great 118. And I was trying to determine this doesn't seem real. But with Elon Musk's Twitter, anything seems sort of possible.
Okay.
I was fired from Twitter this morning. Right as I was about to eat my hot dog, I was told Elon had to catch the flight to Chicago and he'd be pushing lunch, parentheses, which shouldn't be allowed, end parentheses.
Oh, yeah.
I attempted to discreetly finish my lunch, accidentally choked on it, and was let go because of it.
So
Truth or tweet?
Truth
means it's real. Tweet means it's like Twitter. It's basically.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm going to say that actually happened. That's truth.
So I was back and forth.
It sounds like something that would happen.
Because the idea of some guy having to get on a plane so no one else gets to eat lunch.
Lunch is canceled.
Absolutely made up until you realize that guy is Elon Musk.
Cancel culture has come for lunch.
So, which the
he
idea
was like
of
firing people with
lunch,
really bad memes. So
Haber and I used to work at a place where they were soliciting ideas, and lunch was written down as an idea.
In what way?
Well,
it's unclear. Some people don't view or value lunch in the same way that I might.
I love lunch. I had lunch today.
I love lunch.
Schaefer had a baked potato and some leftover chicken
we like
pies.
getting Schaefer in a place that you could share ideas. Schaefer is best utilized in a group setting where his real strengths can show, where he can be
talking a lot.
He could be the ideas guy. And
he's throwing it against the wall?
Oh yeah. So
what kind of idea?
So the idea of
It's
lunch,
some pretty good ones.
The
lunch
idea
was not mine though.
The idea of lunch is a really good one. I didn't
know.
Is
this a radio idea? A idea for the show?
Well, the idea was to come up with segments that could be sponsored
around lunch.
Well, I think lunch. The idea was that lunch would just be sponsored. That's what I'm guessing.
No bad ideas, Schaef. No bad idea.
It wasn't for me. I did not pitch the idea of lunch. It was a concept that I had already thought that I had brought to this workplace.
I believe that your best one was get a good football coach or something along those lines.
Yeah, the problem with leaving a giant area in which people can just write on for ideas is that you might be soliciting some.
Yeah. There was a memo that was sent out at one point, which was like, "Hey, people are taking advantage of the board here." Just like, it's like you wanted ideas. You got Schaefer in the building.
Kind of like the board behind you. There's just all sorts of crap behind you on that board. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
There was a few
we started writing our guarantees on there,
Uh-huh.
and then it got a little out of control.
Yeah.
Well,
for example,
you still owe America an applesauce bath, right?
No, I don't think so.
A shoey?
It says MJ.
Oh,
Schaef
come on,
up there
do a shoey.
at 9. Schaef, over. What's the difference in terms of the scheduled time and what time you're usually on the show on Fridays? Do you think?
You know, in
9:15,
September,
9:20?
it would be different than it was going forward.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
you never know. Sometimes you're told 9. Sometimes you get a phone call at 9:30. You just never know.
So
We obviously put our life on hold as we wait for these things.
Understandable.
The first guarantee was me saying I will never ever lose my wallet.
And still good to go?
Yeah, I'm not. That's never going to happen.
And just for clarification, so the people listening know, you're not one of those people that has like an attachment to your wallet that hooks into your back pocket. So
No, I don't have a wallet chain.
Yeah,
that's such a funny look.
No,
I laugh
that
so
was
hard
like
when
a
I
big
see
thing in high
wallet
school.
chain.
In
But I'm like
2005.
constantly patting myself down. Like,
Oh,
where's
yeah.
my wallet?
Oh yeah.
I don't know where it is. So I'm never going to lose my wallet.
Okay.
And then other people started writing their guarantees up there.
Okay. Like what else do we have?
Josh said that he'll never swallow a drill bit or inhale a drill bit.
I
Gary,
swallowed a key one time.
Gary said that he'll never get
What?
his
I was in
nipples
third grade,
pierced.
Nick.
Were you trying to show off?
No, I think I don't know what I was doing.
Did
I think
she
I was at
kiss ya?
home. I was like, oh man, I like the taste of this key. And then I swallowed it.
It tasted like
The metal. I don't
You
know.
didn't eat mashed potatoes until you were 31
Wrong. 20.
because you
Six?
were scared of them.
Excuse
You
me?
didn't have milkshake until you were in your 20s.
Remember, because I thought, what was the reason why?
You used to only eat chicken strips with vinegar and nothing else.
What? Fried
the idea
chicken.
of any other condiment scared you.
Wait,
But
what?
there was a
Is this
so-
real or tweet?
No, these are real.
real. What is
Truth or tweet?
Truth or tweet?
See, it's already working.
Just tweet
No.
these out.
What's amazing to me is I'm sitting here and I'm having a flashback. I have done this Tuesday or Wednesday version of this show.
Yeah.
For roughly, I think, 6 or 7 years now. And it was on one of these shows. I learned about all of the things that Josh didn't eat.
Lunch.
Yeah. He used to think lunch wasn't a thing.
All the things he just said were true. I
So
mean,
now I
a
understand-
little
But
exaggeration.
when he was 9, he ate a key.
He thought that seemed
He
more.
liked the taste.
He thought that seemed more enticing than the mashed potatoes.
Sometimes people are like, "What are these guys like in real life?" And
the same
honestly,
as I am on the radio,
they're
weirdo.
absolutely
See,
insane.
This was my thought of you before I came here because I only knew these
Me?
crazy food takes about you.
Yeah.
And now I get like my food takes get compared to yours.
Oh,
and
man.
there's just
He
no
has very strange takes.
there's
though.
just no way that could be
Your food takes a normal habit.
no, they're
Thank
not.
you. I know they are.
They're normal.
Cheese pizza.
Well, no,
What about cheese pizza?
You're in your 30s now. You're not. That's a child's food.
there are not child like that.
I know severe.
Josh,
I know.
what do you think about me and cheese pizza?
Yeah,
What
put some keys on it.
What do you think about? What? Say
That
it.
is
That's what
horrible
that's what you
remix.
think is a normal like pizza.
No, that's what I think is the New York style pizza that is the test ground
The
for
baseline.
for what it should
Whoa,
be.
whoa, whoa,
It is
whoa,
not
whoa.
the only pizza I eat. I like a lot of pizzas. I
He
eat
does
many,
like a lot of pizza. I
many
can confirm.
pizzas
on many sides.
on many sides.
So I thought this was going to be about. Aren't you the person who thinks it's okay to call cheese pizza or regular? Give me a slice of regular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I can't abide that.
All right,
See,
that
you're weird.
came up on our show.
All right, so
That's
what
just
other, what
how
are the
that's
other,
what it is.
What are the other weird Happer food takes?
The one that absolutely pushes me to the brink of just like, whoa, can't even really be in the conversation anymore is his steadfast belief that every order has to be exactly as it is printed on the menu.
That's so
I agree
weird.
with
or on the fast food drive-through board. Like
You
so
won't
there's
update like your McDonald's burger.
There's like a
order?
time where he's
No
eating
customization.
something and he's kind of like, I wish I
I'm
would have
fine
gotten
with
this.
that.
And I was like, well, why didn't you just ask for it? He's like, well, you can't do that.
You literally can though.
And I
It's
like
okay.
it resulted in me sort of dying and then coming back to life and having the conversation with him. I mean, that's one of them. There's one where he doesn't like to talk about what he's going to order before when he's at a restaurant because he doesn't want someone else
I think
to
all of
order
these
the
are
same
best
thing.
of.
And I'm fairly certain that part
We
of it
talked
is
about that. That was pretty funny.
he will change his order to something he doesn't even want if someone else ordered the thing that he did want.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I think you got it. Yep.
Those are the it's
Those
not
are the
even
most-
food necessarily. It's your mindset about food.
Yeah.
Asian Joe says Omaha needs more food podcasts. So let's get Josh and Connor a show. I'd be down.
We could talk about vinegar chicken strips.
Vinegar chicken strips.
See,
and not making any alterations.
And
But
keys.
Happer on the menu, it's chicken strips and vinegar, so you have to eat it that way.
I'm
They don't
okay.
s-
On the menu, it's a key. You gotta eat it.
The number 8 is 2 keys and a large fry.
I'm okay with the no customization take because that's how they want the food presented to you. The second you take an ingredient away, then they're off the
We're
hook.
thinking
First
about
of
the
all,
chefs at McDonald's.
if you don't
Here's
like
the
it,
other
it's your
problem.
own fault. Not the chefs at McDonald's, but
You ever
the
notice that
people
when you
who
have a
made
take
the
that's
stuff.
out there, the people that agree with you tend
Yes.
to make the
And that's
take
what I
get
was going to
worse.
say. Here's my other issue. Usually there are some people who come to my side in these things and
Damon and Nick.
and they're all really weird. Like they're like, I don't know how else to say it. Just like, oh, actually, Happer, I don't mind this take that you have. It's like, you're not the guy that I wanted. Like, I don't need an ally anymore. Thank you, Nick.
Sorry, my validation isn't enough for you.
Donald
Happer.
Trump's tweeting, I stand with Happer. I also don't change any items.
Can I tell a quick Damon food story
Yeah,
from this weekend?
absolutely.
So I'm
Please.
standing in line on the press box to get it was donuts and breakfast pizza this week. Standing in line, Damon's in there, like,
Hey,
you
Damon.
know, meeting all the people and glad handing. And
Sounds like
generally what
Damon.
Generally what he does, he comes bounding over and tells me that he's gotten a new Blackstone and he has one with even more surface area. And so we have
that
like,
radio money.
we have exchanged we've exchanged messages about like Blackstones and recipes and everything. So I'm like,
Sure.
hey, so what, like, you've had one for a few months now. Like, what's your favorite thing that you've made? And he gets all like sheepish and he's like, you know, we're kind of weird. And he starts describing something. And what he ultimately ended up describing was a breakfast burrito. And I was like, what about a breakfast burrito makes you weird? And he just sort of stares at me for a little bit. And then I think he just walked off. And it was,
I miss
Bizarre.
Damon.
Like, I thought breakfast burritos were perfectly normal.
I love breakfast burritos.
Yeah, I think they're pretty normal.
It's a great way to
I had
deliver
one this morning.
breakfast.
It's like the
food.
one
It's like a
time-
deep shame of his that he explained to me how he makes breakfast.
I'm gonna
Is this
tweet at him.
like the one time I asked you what your favorite food was and you said a burrito and I got
It is a fair response.
I was so angry that day.
The other person in the room said cereal and you didn't even blink.
Yeah, that was weird too. But I was
What?
distracted. That was Tab.
We worked with a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
It was an interesting time.
But your favorite food can't be a burrito. Like you can. There's how many different kinds of burritos are there? There's 45,000 different kinds of burritos.
So now, if he would have said like
a burger, it never would have gotten to this.
But what about
Because-
like a steak burrito? If he would have been like steak and rice and beans,
great.
that would have been okay. But since
Great.
he just said burrito,
Yeah, and then he was like buffalo chicken burrito, and I
Because
was
that's
like,
what I just had. It was great.
and I was like buffalo chicken burrito.
And then he
is-
lost
oh,
his
that's
mind
another
about
one of his
buffalo
food
chicken. I
takes.
hate
Is he has
buffalo
very
chicken.
like certain
Yeah.
foods can only be a specific way.
Well,
Like you're out on buffalo chicken
he
pizza.
likes most things. The things he doesn't like triggers him so much to the point that he gets really red. In the
We're
face
just
and
so
mad.
obsessed with buffalo chicken as a country.
as a country.
We are. It's a societal problem.
We
as
used to
it
be a
usually
proper
is.
society.
I think you said at the time it was pervasive in the way that it had gone after other foods. It was one of those segments that lasted so long that people would tweet at me if they had a burrito and they're like, "Hey, it's your favorite food."
That's awesome. It's like the bit we were telling Nick about the bit to tweet a Coors Banquet every time you have it.
That's a
Schaefer.
good bit, and it's resulted in Schaefer having way too many Coors banquets.
And
I
look-
wish I
look
knew.
at
We
his
put a
hat.
dent in those.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time I go to Night Owl, if I want a beer, what do? I get a beer and I tweet it at Schaefer. Hey, look, I'm having another Coors. Good times.
The last time I talked to Damon about food was pretty funny too.
Truth or tweet?
I texted him randomly and I said, "Hey, I think I'm gonna get a meat slicer." And what do
You
you?
said this or Damon said this?
I said this because I figured
You
that.
seriously gonna get a meat slicer?
Yeah, I think it'd be
You're
a
just
really
gonna
good.
buy giant hocks of ham.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Wait, but seriously, should I get a meat slicer?
No.
No.
Yes.
Why?
How often will you use this? How much are they?
Do you eat a lot of sandwiches?
I love
It'll
sandwiches.
pay
you-
itself off.
Do you have enough space to get another refrigerator
For the
or
meats?
freezer needed to?
You will need a freezer.
for your cured
You
meats?
got to eat the whole thing of meat, like before it goes bad.
Goes bad.
That's
Yeah, you got
right.
to eat that ham fast, man.
Oh, are you opening a deli? No, it's for me.
And so his response was, and I quote, "Let me know if you find one you think is relatively easy to clean."
It's a real thing.
That's a fair point.
Having worked in a meat department, like,
Yeah, I
those
would hate
things
to
are-
clean one of those.
They're annoying to clean. Like you
Yeah.
got to spend some real time on. it.
Yeah.
He's thought about all this stuff.
So you put it on your Christmas list? You add it to Elfster?
I think my wife,
My wife.
thank you, is actually considering getting me a meat slicer without even understanding the details
I love
about-
this. You're unwrapping gifts. on
about what it
Christmas.
would mean. Oh, dude.
And you get a meat
It'd be my
slice.
happiest Christmas in a long time if I got
Wow.
a meat slicer.
Are you going to mount it in the kitchen just on the counter somewhere?
See, that's the other thing. Counter space is an issue as well. Don't have a lot of that.
Yeah.
Build an island for the meat slice.
I have an island. I need less of an island to create more counter space else. Yeah, it's a tricky situation in my kitchen.
Make an archipelago?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, what do you think? Build an archipelago.
I'm now imagining Happer using his backyard to build a workshop that's mostly just so he has a meat slicer.
Just a meat slicing shed.
People see in the back and like, "Oh, you're into woodworking?"
Nope.
Not exactly.
I could have a separate
Yeah,
meat
but there's
slicing
sawing
area.
noise that I hear all the time.
You go to visit Happer at his house. Oh, yeah, no, he's just in the back in the meat shed.
They're
Slicing
pretty
some
cheap.
meats.
You can get them for like under $200.
Are you using a circular saw for that ham?
That's a good point. You don't need a meat slicer. Just get a circular saw.
Katie says,
Or a
I'm convinced
bandsaw?
that Happer is an Iowa fan with all these crappy food takes.
What?
Wow.
Why would they be convinced of that?
Tough look.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Tough luck.
Also, these are good food takes. I just like when the
Well, I think it's because Nick agreed with one of
I
them.
just like when the
so.
deli meat is thin, sliced so thin, and you just put it on there. And I know you could get it that way at the store. I know, but I want to slice. I've always wanted to slice it myself. You know, put the meat in there and go like this, and just have it slice in there. I don't know. It's almost nostalgia, I guess, a little bit as well.
Nostalgia.
What's it nostalgia for?
I don't know.
Like
Like
growing
I'm
up, like one of the first toys you ever got was a meat slicer.
Pretend-
just
a little
watching the
plastic meat
watching the
slicer.
guys at the deli slice the meat. I just think
Fisher
it's
Price
really
and meat
fun.
slicer.
It's a really it's a pastime. You know, I like to watch the guys at the deli slice the meat
Why not just get a part-time job at a deli?
because I don't have time.
Why not just stop by Jersey Mike's every day?
I do that too often, and it costs a lot of money.
Jersey Mike's is one of the
Dude,
most expensive.
You ever
fast
tried to buy
food-
a sandwich from a sandwich place recently? It costs
No,
like
is it-
$14 now.
Which is why you want to buy a meat
For a
slicer.
whole
Why would I buy a
sandwich?
meat slicer. Yeah.
Jeez.
I got a text from somebody who says they want a meat slicer exclusively for making cheesesteaks.
Yeah, you could do cheesesteaks with it too.
Yeah,
Thinly sliced steak.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't think it's that bad of an idea, guys.
No, I support it. Well, I generally support your ideas. Generally,
You do. You are pretty supportive of my ideas.
mostly because I don't think they're going anywhere, and I don't worry about.
We'll see what's under the
I
tree.
don't worry
on
about the
Christmas.
recourse of my support.
I hope you get to slice all the meat you can handle.
I hope
I want
so
that
too.
for you.
I hope that if you get a meat slicer, you also get some ham for Christmas as well.
No,
Like,
I
go
don't
check
want
the
ham.
fridge.
Just a whole ham.
Did you ever get the giant ice maker that you
I
were
wanted
dreaming
that
of?
too. No,
ice
just-
maker,
Yeah, I want like a big industrial size ice chest.
like clear ice.
It doesn't have to be clear ice,
okay.
but I want like
I have
an
a
ice-
clear
like
ice
what
maker.
they have at hotels?
Yeah, I want an ice chest with the scoop. I don't because I want to scoop it out.
I'm now imagining going over to La Casa Happer, and in the hallway there's just a ice machine that clearly was stolen from a hotel.
You could buy them probably on auction for like a couple $100.
Yeah,
Probably
Just don't
Where do
have enough-
hotels buy them from? Just just go there.
cut
Go to
out the
source.
middleman.
the
Unless
ice,
you have to
No,
buy them in
the ice
bulk.
machine
You're not cutting the
wholesaler.
middleman out. You're going directly to the middleman.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I'll go to the ice machine wholesaler and grab my ice machine. But those just are a couple of the things that I want. They're just dreams of mine. Might need more space in order to actually pull it off, but
I think you should build the meat shed.
the meat shed.
Yeah, for the meat slicer, and then you can put your other. You can put your
Like
ice
with the ice
chest
chest
in there.
too.
Yeah,
It's true. And then I'll say, everybody come outside, grab your sandwiches. And then they'll go back inside and eat, and I'll just be out in my meat shed.
call 811 before you dig, and then you can do the underground meat bunker like they used to do in the 1800s.
That'll keep the meat fresh.
Nice and cold.
So that's all. That's all I had to say about that.
There's our food takes. I think we should start a podcast.
Yeah.
By the way, coming on, we do a Jays podcast now together. Schaef, have
Oh,
you seen
wow.
this? Have you heard about this?
1620 the
We're just
Jays.
like talking
Place.
about this last week, so we'll do that.
They
sometime.
allow me to talk about Creighton. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I never would have. So I'm glad you found that for yourself a year later.
I love it. I love freely just tweeting about Creighton.
Not getting yelled at all
I
the
have
time?
like Jays. I have started a Jays group chat now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, you're
I
not
don't
in
like
it. Sorry.
Omaha Happer. I'm not a fan.
It's like you and Ravi.
It's me and Ravi and Padilla. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
It's called Jay's Chat. And it's the replacement of me firing off 17 tweets a game, but it still might happen. So they just get the text now.
Yeah, like what's the socially acceptable thing there? Like how many
Oh no, man.
how many tweets during a game with a group of people before it just needs to be taken to a group chat?
Yeah. I think it's a pretty small number.
Like if you're just all responding together on
Yeah.
Twitter, just get to a group chat. If your guys are actual friends and you have phone numbers.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty small number. It's probably like 2 or 3.
Sounds right to me.
Okay.
All right, that was a crossover. Happy New Year.
Do we have any space left for a Happy New Year?
We have so much space.
We'll get a whole month. We'll see how this
Happy
ages.
New Year.
We'll see if I've gotten my
We can't
meat slicer
force
by
the
New
New Year,
Year's.
though.
That's true.
By
Yeah,
the
you take
time
it-
people are listening to this again, I will have either had or not had a meat slicer.
I know some money just hit your account, so I don't know what a meat slicer
Oh,
costs.
That's
but
true.
It's in that ballpark, I think.
Nice.
there's
I'll
more
buy it
to
for
Either that or an
myself.
ice machine.
I want other people to buy it for me as a gift.
That's
True.
the best part about Christmas. Not having to spend your own money
Oh, I thought it was memories.
and memories.
And making them.
Making
That's the best
memories.
part about memories. It's making them.
Making
People
them.
forget.
All right. It's good to have Happer and Schaefer back together.
We're back.
It was a fine radio show, and now it's a crossover segment.
And it's over.
And now it's over.
Now it's over.
All right.
Only when John's in Hawaii.
Only when John's in Hawaii. Speaking of, John will join us today on the show at like 4:15. We'll talk Creighton.
Great.
Also, Brunts will stop by. That's the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. He's Mike Schaefer from Husker 24/7 Sports. in today for John. The program starts next year on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
I'm going to bury a take in here. S'mores are overrated.
Whoa! What kind of a monster are you? Explain yourself. Show your work, Connor.
Melted marshmallow, guys?
Delicious.
No. Not really. Not really at all. Why? Marshmallow is not a good thing. Marshmallows aren't good.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Warming up Tuesday after a cold start. Expect partly to mostly sunny skies with the southwest wind occasionally gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Highs in the mid-50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision, the only office in our area that specializes in all 7 forms of modern vision correction. See if you qualify for a procedure today by calling them at 402-558-2211 or going to kuglervision.com.
The holidays are coming, and what's better than the gift of spending time together? And Tickets for Less and ticketsforless.com is going to help you. You can find tickets to all the best live sporting events, concerts, and holiday shows, and you never pay extra per ticket fees. Plus, you can save even more at ticketsforless.com when you use the promo code The Zone at checkout for an extra discount on your order. That code again is The Zone. It's good site-wide at ticketsforless.com, or you can call Tickets for Less at 402-398-1999 and redeem the code over the phone. Secure your tickets and save with Tickets for Less.
Amid the highest levels of inflation seen in decades, thousands of Omaha families are struggling to escape poverty. But this holiday season, you can help them find a way forward by giving to the Salvation Army. Here in the Metro, we serve families with the support they need to get back on their feet by providing food, shelter, utility assistance, and much more. Join our effort to love beyond Christmas. Give to the Salvation Army now at omaharedkettle.org. That's omaharedkettle.org.
Everyone deserves to be connected. That's why Cox has high-speed internet to fit any budget. Stream, chat, and connect at an incredible price. You're probably thinking, wait, what? But yeah, it's true. Learn more at cox.com/ACP. Non-transferable, one per household. Application and eligibility decisions are made by the FCC. Other restrictions apply.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more. Join the show immediately after the game and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction on 101.9 The Keg and 1620 The Zone. This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, sports talk. Really it is.
Coming up on the show, we already mentioned him, Michael Bruns, John Bishop, plus Mike Schaefer is in. We'll talk coaching search. We'll talk NFL power rankings. Who knows what else we'll talk about, but it all starts right now.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Welcome in, everyone, on this Tuesday. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, 1620 The Zone app, 1620 The Zone TV. We are basically everywhere. Alongside Mike Schaefer of Husker 24/7 Sports, I am Josh Peterson. We appreciate you joining us as we're now 2 days away from Thanksgiving. Mike Schaefer, how are you?
I am good. I'm good.
Good.
Doing well.
Awesome.
Ready to roll. Like I said, I was just thinking about this. This is the constant. If you were going to hear me for sure filling in on a show, it's going to be this time, and if schedule allows, in March when Creighton's playing in the Big East tournament.
Perfect.
Those are like the two that it's almost like you can guarantee.
Thanksgiving
and
week.
then the random times John would go to Knoxville.
Summertime, that's August.
Occasionally I would do a show.
Because sometimes August is tough for you because it's fall camp season.
Yeah, and I'm also sometimes trying to sneak in a last vacation.
I think we all are, right?
So
we all are. Well, at least we'll get our Christmas vacations this year again as Nebraska misses another bowl game.
I won't have any.
No, time
because
off?
it's going to be insane.
No days off?
I don't know. Like, this can be a topic for later in the show. We don't have to start with this, but obviously I've been busy making phone calls the last few days about Nebraska's coach. But in that time,
let's ride.
That's not the only conversation that I'm having. I've also talked with a lot of people in the 24/7 Sports Network and the football world about the upcoming transfer portal window. And it's going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many people know this. North Dakota State had multiple starters enter the transfer portal window. North Dakota State is the number 3 seed in the FCS playoffs.
Yeah.
And that is a team that routinely makes it to Frisco, Texas, which is, for whatever reason, where they play that championship.
Odd. Very odd.
Very odd. You know who loves Frisco? Steve Sipple. You should mention it to him.
Sounds about right.
He'll make a bunch of noises where he's excited about something. Yeah. I don't know why. He visits there quite often. Might be family, not sure.
Very on brand.
So you already have stuff like that happening.
Yep.
And then, like, just talking with different people at 24/7, there are basically, teams in the MAC and some of the smaller group of fives where it's just like they don't like their coach, or their coach is expected to leave, and potentially an entire starting offensive line is going to go into the portal, or 11 guys that basically play frequently for an offense, or like the projections that I'm hearing on this. So, inevitably, whenever Nebraska has their run on people and people freak out about how many people leave Nebraska, be sure to look around the country, because it's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how. I don't think it's great for the sport, but 2, I don't know how you rein it in.
Yeah.
And so you may need a couple years where it's super messy to finally get it across to players that, despite
it's not always going to work out in the end. Somewhere John is yelling, scholarship contract.
Yeah, I don't
scholarship contract.
Every time he brings it up, it's a terrible idea.
Scholarship contract.
Part of it, though, is just this idea that there's all this like NIL money. It's just this gold rush in a lot of ways. And if we've learned nothing else from history, there's a lot of losers in the gold rush. We focus on the people who did really well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that just,
Interesting. When is the window open up again?
I believe it's December 5th.
Okay. So you got to have your coach by then.
Because I think the championship weekend is December 3rd, if I can do the calendar right.
Yep.
And so then
that Monday,
the 4th is the last day. The 5th, it is open for business. And yeah.
So no time off for Schaefer after Christmas.
Well, and so
I'll
that's
just follow
like
you on Twitter.
I think it's a 45-day window.
Yeah, this
Maybe
is the 45-day,
60?
and then is the other
15
in
yeah.
May. That's
it's
in
60
May, right?
total days, so it's 45 this time, and then 15 in May.
And I guess that would get you to the end of January, but before the second signing
January
day,
18th or something,
somewhere. Yeah,
something
sure,
like that.
That sounds about right, math wise. All right, so there you go.
No, that doesn't. January 20th or something.
It's one of those days. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's what you'll be doing.
It's going to be very busy. I'll
All
be
right.
very
Well,
busy.
we'll
no
read on
vacation.
Husker 24/7 Sports. That's what I'll be doing.
It's where everyone should be.
I'll be reading. Plus, how about this? You get a subscription, you get Paramount Plus. Badass. You can watch movies.
I should say.
Oh, is that not on there anymore?
Well, the Paramount Plus happens when your trial ends.
Okay.
So if you're getting it for a year, you'll have to wait a year for the Paramount Plus to kick in.
Pretty cool, though. They have movies,
But if
TV
you're going
shows.
to do it and you can take advantage of the Big Ten's new TV contract, you'll have Paramount Plus.
There you go.
And they'll be televising games.
Perfect. We love Paramount Plus, don't we, folks? Mention the guest today. We have your colleague, Michael Bruns.
Yeah.
He'll join us. You guys don't talk very often?
No.
No.
We have not talked today, which is unusual.
Everything okay?
He might be a
Schaefer?
little under the weather. I wasn't sure if he was
There's
going
a
to be
million
on or
things
not.
going around these days.
Yeah, it's not great timing.
No, okay. Well,
But,
hopefully Bruns is okay.
Yeah.
He did confirm with us.
He is
Bruns
alive, I know
joining
that.
us. Okay, good. Well,
He didn't technically.
oh, he didn't confirm with us. Well, we'll see if Bruns answers the phone.
Yeah.
John Bishop will join us, maybe on video, maybe on the phone. We'll talk about Creighton as they picked up a nice win yesterday versus Texas Tech, and now a top 10 matchup tonight versus Arkansas. So we'll talk about that with him, and then plenty of room for you as well at 402-951-1620, whether you call or text us, like this text from Travis that says, Frisco is a decent suburb of Dallas, a bit uppity. Frisco, a bit uppity.
Oh, the only thing I really know about Frisco is that it's the home of the Rough Riders, I believe, a minor league baseball team.
Okay.
Named after Teddy Roosevelt.
I have no takes on Frisco except for that Steve Sipple likes it, which again, not really.
Does that make you more intrigued or less?
Do you think Sipple likes it because of the Rough Riders or because it's uppity?
Honestly, neither.
He just seems to like things that a lot of people don't really like. You know, like remember Shreveport? Everyone knows like Shreveport
does
sucked,
love
and he
Shreveport.
was like, "That's one of my favorite bowl trips ever." Yeah, And
Having
he's-
never been, I can't relate.
Also, a lot of texts about meat slicers and
Big meat slicing.
ice machines, pizza. It's just a lot of responses to what Happer had. A lot of responses to Happer, basically.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, indeed.
He gets the people going.
He does. So you can respond to us there at 402-951-1620. You can also find us on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC1620 or into the Equitable Bank inbox, Josh at 1620thezone.com. A whole lot of stuff. When we return, though, a couple of things coming off of last night's state championship game, because I know you are incredibly high on this game. Incredibly high on this game. Plus, Happer says that Scott Frost needs to be put in jail. We report Mike Schaefer decides.
Okay.
So we'll have that when we return as well. Schaef in today for John. I'm Josh Peterson. Nick Grimm producing as always. It is Unsportsmanlike conduct. Don't forget you can win the ultimate payday with $15,000. Enter for your chance to win in the 15K payday on 1620thezone.com. If you go there, you can get an ice machine plus a meat slicer and then you'll still have a ton of money left over. $15,000 payday. Available right now, 1620thezone.com.
Hi, this is Scott Graham of Westwood One. Join us Thursday for a triple helping of football on Thanksgiving. First, the Detroit Lions host Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Then it's an NFC East matchup when the Giants face the Cowboys in Dallas. And finally, the New England Patriots meet the Minnesota Vikings on Thanksgiving night. Our special holiday coverage begins at 12 noon Eastern Time. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1620 The Zone.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power and savings with style. Not to mention top tech to help keep you connected. Plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. With a hybrid or electric vehicle built for every driver. Seriously, dear gas prices? Do you really think you can stand in our way? Think again. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more. The Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Did you hear about Taco Bell's apology? Yeah, they apologized for going too far with their breakfast. Like the naked egg taco and chicken biscuit nachos? It was too much. All you need in the morning is tasty, simple food. Like the breakfast crunch wrap. Fluffy eggs, melty cheese, sausage, crispy hash browns, wrapped in a warm tortilla. Or, as some call it, a breakfast crunch thing. Grab one today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell stores during breakfast hours only until 11 a.m. while supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation, which vary.
Your vehicle is important. It gets you where you need to go, but it does much more than that. I'm Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center, and at Dingman's, we know your vehicle is an investment and that safety is your priority. To make sure your vehicle is as safe as it was prior to an accident, bring it to Dingman's for proper, safe, and certified repairs. We protect you and your investment. We've been voted Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Find us at dingmans.com.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We are rapidly growing and adding new customers, which means we need new route drivers and service technicians. We have new jobs for those new to the industry with little or no experience, and new careers that require knowledge in the coffee and vending world. There's a good chance we have just what you need in a new job. Host Coffee offers competitive pay and understands the work-life balance. Apply today at hostcoffee.net/careers and join our team.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your new home for Omaha Mavericks men's basketball all season long. You don't want to miss any of the exciting action in the Chris Crutchfield era. Join me, Gary Sharp, your voice of the Mavs, on News Talk 1290 Coil for this action-packed season with a new head coach and more. Go Mavs!
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome back. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Alongside Mike Schaefer, I am Josh Peterson. Michael Brunson is going to join us in about a half hour. We will talk some coaching rumors, coaching search stuff. Just got a text from Al about Matt Rule that we can get to coming up in a little bit. But first, talking about last night's state championship game. I've seen this question asked quite a bit, Schaef, and I know that you'll have an opinion on it. Was this the greatest high school football game that you have ever seen? Not of all time, but that you have ever seen. What's your answer?
Yeah, I think it is for me. I mean, I'm trying to think. Like I've seen some really cool upsets of number one teams before. I've seen some like great finishes, some like for high school, some just like absurd, iconic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But last night was easily the most fun Class A championship game I think I've ever seen. So a lot of times you get into these games and these teams are tight.
Yep.
And the coaches are tight.
Yep.
And they are super conservative and it's a bunch of feeling each other out. And unless someone like rips off a big run or a big play or whatever, you're not getting a lot early on in that game. Last night, you saw two teams that had played there before, that had played against each other, that knew what they were going to get, and just came out and were throwing bombs immediately. And I don't mean just the
bomb
deep
the ball,
passes.
Jack Mitchell.
I mean like haymakers. Like this was like just a straight up brawl fight that was just awesome from start to finish. I mean, I kept saying this. It was like watching one of those Alamo Bowls where like Baylor was playing Washington or whatever.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's 70-68. And you're trying to catch your breath. I mean, because there was 42 points scored, I think, in the first quarter.
Yeah, I remember, just seeing the ticker, people like, oh, wow, there's another score. There's another score.
Yep.
And what was last year's final again?
10-3.
I was going to say 10-7.
Like
It was super low scoring. The under certainly hit last year. And
Right.
last night, the first quarter, easily surpassed that one. Plus, has to be like the greatest kicking performance we've ever seen in the state of Nebraska.
It's the best high school kicking performance I've ever seen.
Yeah. And I have to imagine that'll be the best you will ever see.
It was already that before the game-winning kick had happened.
Yeah.
Because he had nailed a 50-yarder. The thing that people haven't talked a lot about, and I know high school it's a little bit different, but he was putting them deep. He was 8 of 9 on touchbacks. Like Gretna was almost guaranteed where they were going to start the ball
every time
because Alvano was just booting it through. And so it was an awesome game. It was a great game for the state of Nebraska in promotion of just like how good the high school football has got. Because last night you saw, I would guess, from underclassmen all the way up through to guys that are 2023 recruits, you probably got double-digit guys that are going to be D1 football players. They're going to be on D1 football.
Pretty awesome,
teams.
especially when you compare it back to when you and you're 05 or 06, and I was 07, back when we were in high school, and the conversation that we were having in the state of Nebraska about the talent then versus now.
Yeah, you get like the year where Sean Fisher kind of went bananas, and you have like, okay, that guy's really good.
Like I remember my senior year.
You look around and it's like, okay, he's going against some guys that might walk on, but other than that, is anybody paying attention to this? Whereas last night, an Elite 11 4-star quarterback and Zane Flores just ripped up Memorial Stadium, and he had 3 interceptions, but 2 of them were to a guy in Caleb Benning that probably doesn't get talked about enough, partly because he broke his collarbone, unfortunately, in the third game of the year. That is one of the top recruits for the 2024 year. And then one of his teammates, Christian Jones, I think in a 2025 player, could be a top 100 player in the country. I mean, so there's so much talent that was happening last night. And then the guy who usurps it all is this kicker that I had known about. Like Parker Gabriel and I watched last year in the semifinals against Bell West, and we're like, oh, that guy's got a leg. It's windy, it's November, and he's just bombing it. And then you see it in a college stadium.
Yep.
And you can measure it with those uprights, and you can see the distance that he's putting on those kicks. Alvano, like the one he made from 50 would have been good from at least 55, if not further.
And the game winner's going up into the stands and bouncing around. Yeah.
Just bombing these things. And I never doubted he was going to make that kick.
Yeah.
Not once.
Yeah, you text me like, hey, make sure you have this on right now.
I watch professional kickers every Sunday where it's like 30% chance that guy's making this kick.
I was going to say, sometimes you worry if they're going to make the extra point.
Right.
Yeah. I did want to ask you about Zane Flores because he, when did things really start kind of the conversation around him maybe not blowing up, but like there was this annoyance maybe that Nebraska hadn't offered him? Was it when Ohio State was suddenly in the mix, or like that there was interest from Ohio State? Is that when things went from, he hasn't been offered to what the hell is Scott Frost doing? And I mainly am saying that to kind of paint the picture of, I wanted to ask you, I guess, how your view of him and Nebraska not offering him has changed, because I remember discussions last summer with people, sometimes you, sometimes others, on and off the air. And it was like, look, if Mark Whipple and Scott Frost don't want him, if they don't think he fits their offense, then like, that's what's going to happen. He's not going to be a part. But as the Frost regime, of course, went to total crap and he got fired, I think that some even that had that viewpoint are like, okay, I think Nebraska probably screwed up. I wonder how your viewpoint has changed over the last few months.
Well, I think it's important to start with this. Like the first time I heard about Zane Flores, I was getting a text his name is Zane Flores. I don't know if you didn't hear the broadcast.
Oh, no, yeah.
His last
Flores
name has been pronounced incorrectly for 4 years.
I love when this happens with athletes.
And Mike Sauter told me this last Friday. He's like, actually, I heard from the family. They're like, hey, we don't want to make a big deal about this, but it's actually Flores.
All right, Zane Flores.
So I'll try to get it right,
Yep,
but
yep.
having said it wrong now for 3 years, it's going to be kind of hard.
Yeah.
It's like when Quincy
Enunwa
became Quincy Enunwa.
Yeah. Or Tyrod Taylor instead of Tyrod Taylor.
Yep.
And that happened when he was in the NFL.
There's 2 other Nebraska examples I'll come up with before the end of the
Alfonso
show.
Dennard?
No, that wasn't the one I was thinking of, but that's not a bad one.
Yeah.
So with Zane, he came on my radar when I got a text from Steve Warren saying this is the best like high school freshman I've ever seen as far as quarterback like skill goes.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to be writing about this guy as a Power 5 quarterback.
And
It's
how
like
long
he's-
ago was
he's
this?
A freshman, so
Okay, so
that would
three
put
seasons ago.
2018.
Yeah.
So 2019. How does this work?
Just depends
19,
on
20,
what calendar part of the calendar it was.
2019. I'm getting that text because he had started some games at that point. Like, put this kid down. Spring of 2020, it really starts to grow. It's like Iowa State is already kind of paying attention to this guy. Like, make sure you get to a Gretna game. Come out, watch us for 7-on-7. You got to see this guy. So we see him in 2020, and you can tell there's something there. Initially, I was like, I wonder if the athleticism is a little bit limited. Like, can he run a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I think in college, even if you have an incredible arm, you still have to have the ability to move the pocket.
Yep.
And that starts to develop a little bit. And so you just kind of keep watching. Unfortunately for him, 2021, so he has like his great 2020 season. So 2021, he is going to be a junior. And in June of that year, they open everything back up and Nebraska has a camp. And so he really hadn't it's important for people to understand Zane never cared about being an Elite 11 quarterback or any of that stuff. Like he didn't he didn't travel around and do a bunch of the camp stuff. He wasn't really big in promoting his own recruitment, all of that. We get to June 2021, Nebraska has all these quarterbacks on campus, including Dylan Raiola and Noah Walters and all these other people. And Zane's at this camp, and I'm watching this as it happens. And I've seen him, at Steve Warren doing stuff. I've seen him in high school games playing really well. And he is having a horrible night at this camp.
Yeah.
To the point where he's not even included in a breakout group that has like 6 guys, 4 of which I don't even know if they played D1 football. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know. Nebraska's going to pass. Like, they're not.
Yeah.
This is their like in-person exposure to it. They're going to pass on. And so he has a great junior year. He wins the state title. And I'm thinking, all right, well, I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. They're a mess right now because they're replacing all these coaches. Whoever shows up here is probably going to look at this kid and be like, this is something. And they just never contact.
Yeah.
Like he's just never getting any real contact from them. And in the meantime, you're also like, well, where the hell are these other teams?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why aren't the FCS teams already loading this kid up with offers? Or where are all these MAC schools that used to come in and recruit all the time? And I know Dan Jackson's now at Vanderbilt and everything else, but where are these teams? Because he can play at Group of 5. I thought that, before the camp and everything, I thought that through his junior year. And so it's like, well, maybe Kansas will come through an offer and he'll have a Power 5 offer and an opportunity there and whatever. And it just was slow and slow and slow. And it was like all these coaches were kind of like waiting for someone else to make the first move. And then it happens. And then it just kind of
it was a wave.
Rolls. And I want to say like Missouri was one of the first ones in.
Yeah.
And when Missouri offered, I was kind of like, okay, people like what they do on offense. They kind of like what they're attempting to do with their quarterbacks. That's going to get some more teams to come in. And then Oklahoma State offered, and it's like, all right, that's a really good fit.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Nebraska had already been in conversation with William Watson.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea if Mark Whipple ever watched him. No clue.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever watched his film. I don't even know if he knows who he is. Still don't know.
Yeah.
Because he can't talk about him, so I can't ask him about him. And William Watson was someone that he's known since he was 7th grade.
Yep.
So once that happened, the door was closed on Zane. I'm told at least a couple different times, different people at Nebraska kind of checked to see like, hey, if we came back in. And to the credit of the Flores family, they're basically like, thanks, but no thanks. We've already kind of made our decision and we know where we're going to go and we're happy.
Wow.
And so that's how a guy who absolutely looks like one of the better quarterbacks that have played in Memorial Stadium in the last month is going to go to Stillwater.
We're up against it. Maybe we can touch on the no. That was a great story. I want to hit on this a little bit more when we return, but I just know like down the road, what kind of conversations are we going to be having about this guy? That was great stuff, Mike. That was great stuff. Michael Brunson going to join us in about 20 minutes. We can talk about the state championship. We can talk about Nebraska Iowa coaching search and a whole lot more with Brunsey. Also, John Bishop live from Hawaii. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? John's in Hawaii right now.
What?
Yeah.
Hawaii?
Speaking of Hawaii, Louisville scored 13 points in the first half, and 5-ish minutes into the second half, I believe they still have 13 points. So things not going very well for the Louisville Cardinals. More to come. He's Mike Schaef. I'm Josh Peterson. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct here on 1620 The Zone. Josh Peterson for my friends at the FanDuel Sportsbook. You can get more out of that huge soccer tournament that is happening right now when you put in our promo code 1620. New customers, you get $125 in free bets guaranteed. All you got to do is place your first $5 bet. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. Safe, secure, easy to use. Plus, you get your winnings incredibly fast. Also, the live betting, it's all on the main page. You probably used those bad websites in the past. You have to search and look for the live betting, and you can't find it, and then not very easy to use. No, it's incredibly easy to use on FanDuel. And, of course, the same game parlays, bigger payouts when you put those together. And like I said, winnings are paid instantly. Do not miss your chance for $125 in free bets, win or lose, when you sign up with our promo code 1620. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit is required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable. Free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms. Sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
At Dingman's Collision Center, you voted them first place in Best in Omaha for the past 17 years. So they want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and their incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, they'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Caller 4 right now, 402-951-1620. Qualifies for 1620 The Zone's four-quarter pick'em. It's your chance to pick 4 football games correctly against the spread to win $1,620. Call 402-951-1620. Call now to qualify with 1620 The Zone.
There are actually 2 kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world, and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
When it comes to e-juice, 42 Degrees always promised that we would never sell any e-juice that wasn't manufactured under controlled conditions. We never mix juice ourselves or add nicotine. Why? Because we won't take a chance with your health. So when it comes to premium e-juice that tastes great and is available in disposables or bottles, then check out our e-juice department and find out why 42 Degrees is your source for all your e-juice needs. Buy your mom's house.
This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, by DJ's Dugout, and by McGow Law. Before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
Find your next truck at Woodhouse Buick GMC. No matter where you're heading or what tasks need tackling, there's a premium and capable GMC truck that's perfect for you. Make a statement on the job site, out on the town, or wherever life leads you in the powerful and distinctive Sierra 1500, or elevate your driving experience in the adventurous and innovative Canyon. Explore our inventory online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com or visit our indoor showroom today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for soccer to hit the world stage again, and FanDuel wants you to get in on the action when America takes the pitch. Because when you bet on Team USA in group play, all customers get free bets back if they don't win. Why? Because when you bet on Team USA in group play, all customers get free bets back if they don't win. All tournament long, FanDuel has your favorite bet types, including some that are exclusive just to soccer. Plus, just like any other sport, you can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday with the same game parlay. However you want to play, be sure to back the red, white, and blue because all customers get free bets back if Team USA doesn't win. Free bets back if Team USA doesn't win. Just sign up with promo code HAPPER if you don't already have an account. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 and over, present in Iowa. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet ranging from $5 to $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Welcome back. So Sportsmanlike Conduct, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. He's Mike Schaefer. I'm Josh Peterson. Nick Grimm producing the Grum today. Depending on what happens tonight with Creighton and Arkansas, we'll either have another full show tomorrow or we'll actually be off early. We'd only be on from 2 until 3:30. So pay attention to tonight's game. 7 o'clock tip, pregame Blue Jays shoot around with Ravi Lula coming up at 6 o'clock. And then John will have pregame at the bottom of that hour live from Maui. I guess putting a bow, Schaef, on the Zane Flores conversation from last segment. You know, one of the things, this won't surprise anybody, but one of the things that I kind of operated under, I would say from 2020 on, was that the Nebraska staff had to give me permission to believe that what they were doing was the correct thing. So, for example, when Zane Flores was picking up offers from Missouri and Oklahoma State, and there was interest from Ohio State, I viewed that as an indictment on Nebraska. And so, you know, because I remember having conversations, and I think I had conversations with you, and one of the things that was said was like, hey, look, the offensive coordinator has a really great relationship with this William Watson, the third guy. He really wants him. If that's what he wants, then that's what he wants. And I understood that. I guess I viewed it, though, so much from the standpoint of, I don't think that this staff is going to be intact in a year. And if Zane Flores is as good as a lot of people think he is, and it certainly seems that that's the case now, you know, Nebraska is ultimately going to be making a mistake. And look, in the end, I have no idea what type of college career he'll have. I'm not going to pretend like I've watched every single game that he has played or many games that he has played, but it's obvious just watching him drop back and throw a football, the type of arm talent and just overall raw ability that you can see from this guy. And so in the end, I just wonder if like 3 years down the road, if he will be talked about in the same type, with the same level of frustration as other, whether in-state players or out-of-state players that Nebraska almost had a chance on, or maybe just avoided entirely. If he's going to suddenly become another in a long line of those types of dudes.
Yeah, it's tough because meanwhile, William Watson has not done anything wrong.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, he's just a guy.
He's having the same kind of season just in Massachusetts.
Yep.
Which we never see, so then we never really talk about. And
his offensive coordinator's about to be gone.
Right. And the association with Mark Whipple then somehow becomes a stigma for him. And in addition to that, he's competing against some kid he's never met before in his life in the way that fans have to frame these things. And I've always felt like that's somewhat unfair because he's really good in his own right.
Yeah.
He's just not from here.
This is going to be a weird comparison, but bear with me for a moment. Michael Jordan would make up these rival. I know, but he'd make up. I think you're going to like this. He would make up.
Oh no! Is this the night where he claimed that the guy?
See, he would do that stuff, right? And he would be like, "Well, I don't like this person. I'm going to make up something about them, so then I will destroy them on the basketball floor." And obviously, this is different, but it's going to make. And look,
As you talk about him, does he not seem more and more like a sociopath?
Oh, he absolutely is.
Okay, I just want to put that out there.
He came from the era where, though, like that type of behavior, I mean, it's still pretty celebrated for the most part because winners are winners, and winners get to write the, they get to write the history books. But I don't know. I feel like they will be compared. And look, in the end, I have no idea if William Watson will even play at Nebraska if his offensive coordinator, isn't at Nebraska anymore.
Yeah, we don't know if he'll sign it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but they will always be, weirdly linked together, even though have they ever even
Ben Bramer
talked?
touchdown, by the way.
Nice. At the state championship. Have they ever even talked? Do they even know who each other is? I mean, like it's very strange, but that's just kind of how these types of things work in the world of sports, is that if your head coach goes after one player and not another player, those two players will always be compared.
Yeah.
Even if the one player who is like, everyone's like, you're the guy that ruined this for us. He didn't really have anything to do with it.
Here's a good example. I mean, when I first got into this, like Drew Ott and Sam Cotton, like the sort of back and forth of, and it's like, well, they could have probably taken both.
Yeah, sure.
They chose not to. And then Drew Ott has this great career at Iowa.
Yep.
So that's this is what happens. And those were two in-state kids. It's just unfortunately for Sam, his last name was Cotton. And
yeah.
At the time, that just was not. Despite the fact that all three of those guys earned their scholarships, they all played. Sam probably a little less than Jake and Ben. They all played at a high enough level that it wasn't like this, the idea that they didn't deserve those.
Yeah.
Is still preposterous.
Weren't a lot of people mad? Because first of all, their dad, he was, one of the most disliked coaches on the staff from a lot of fans. They blamed him for some.
In retrospect,
dude,
pretty good.
I know. Every offensive line coach, like since the glory days, is in retrospect looks a whole lot better. So I think
maybe not Dennis Wagner, based on who I've talked to, but
maybe not.
That was a lot of Bill Callahan doing that work.
But so I think that played a part in it, and like I don't know wasn't there the weird thing with them, like why can't they just walk on and have their dad?
That's
And I'm not saying that was a smart opinion, but I remember hearing that. Why can't their dad just pay their way? Or why can't they get on, like your parent works at the university? Like one of my best friends, he went to college for pretty much free because his mom worked at a university. And it's like, that's pretty cool. And they were like, why can't they do that? It's like, I don't, because if they
there
earned
might
a scholarship.
There also might be NCAA rules against some of that too.
That makes sense.
Coaches and everything else.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
So yeah, this will be a fun rivalry to discuss or not to discuss in the coming years. What do you think going to happen with William Watson overall? And I guess maybe not even so much at Nebraska. Like what are you projecting with him in college?
Well, I mean, I think he's a really interesting quarterback. I mean, part of it is I'd like to see him a year from now after strength and conditioning. He's got to get a little bigger. I mean, he's a little small. He's definitely, from a size standpoint, he is probably closer to Joe Gans in terms of height, maybe even an inch shorter. And Joe Gans is not a tall guy.
No.
But that's the comparison I want to use because that's who I think he sort of would be like a guy who can use his legs to get out of trouble, but you're going to ultimately know him more for his ability to get the ball downfield and is willing to take some chances, isn't afraid to run it. Like that's the kind of quarterback that I've seen on film. And then his intangibles are through the roof. I mean, he's like a 4-time state champion in football. I mean, he's basically when I talk to him, like quarterbacks are some of the best interviews generally because they spend their whole life being interviewed and being asked about leadership and all these different things.
Yeah.
And so they either sort of are it or they're not it.
Yep.
And there's been starting quarterbacks that are not it. And William Watson has every single thing in the intangible toolbox of what you want to hear, what you think you want to hear from quarterbacks.
We started the show by talking about how you will not be taking vacation after Christmas because you'll be looking at transfer portal stuff. Keeping an eye on the recruiting class and what's going to happen with players such as Watson, I think will also be another real.
Well, that'll be before Christmas.
That's true. So you'll have that out of the way at least.
So I won't even get Hanukkah.
Yeah. Well, one of these years. Maybe one of these years we'll have a nice normal December.
Nope.
I don't think ever again. for someone like you who covers the portal and player movement. And I'll just sit on Twitter and follow you and be like, oh, cool. Great update. And I'll eat more food. Watch another episode of White Lotus.
The guy who doesn't have as much to do in April and
in
May when the weather isn't
bad. You golf.
Feel bad for me.
You'll be okay. You golf a ton.
Yeah, no.
I talk to you all the time. Hey, I'm golfing again.
It's true.
You do love golf.
Big golf guy.
You know who else you love?
Oh,
Michael Bruns.
It's fine.
You like him to some capacity. So
I would not like my job without him. We'll put it that way.
That's quite the compliment. Quite the compliment. Nick, are we still celebrating Cyber Monday? Because it's Tuesday now.
It's next Monday, Josh.
Oh, it's next Monday.
Cyber Monday's next
Schaef,
Monday.
Set a reminder for next Monday, the 28th.
You telling me to set a reminder after that exchange?
Yeah,
somewhat concerned.
Well, you need to set one. I need to set one. We all need to set a reminder.
I am aware of what Cyber Monday is.
So Cyber Monday's coming up
nerd.
next. Oh, that's right. You're on the internet. You're a website guy. Yeah, next Monday, November 28th.
We'll have a deal at 24/7 Sports.
Will you really? Well, we also have
right
deals.
Now, but we'll have another one.
I love deals. We'll have a deal starting at 8 a.m. on 1620thezone.com. Deals from places such as Early Bird. You've been there before.
I have.
All right. I have too. The Omaha Children's Museum. Cops, and a whole lot more.
Been there.
It'll be available starting at 8 a.m. How about this? Voucher Schaef up to 60% off. That's a deal.
I like up to 60% off.
We all love up to 60% off. More information can be found at 1620thezone.com. Michael Bruns joins us when we return here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Previously on The Crossover.
The town of Wood River will never be able to forget that picture of him sitting there with his Wood River jersey on.
Yes.
You got to change the name of the town, or you got to Photoshop the picture.
Or what if you know how it says home of Scott Frost? What if they did home of the worst Nebraska coach ever?
And then put a Scofro sticker on it. Or I did that.
Mornings on 1620 The Zone. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike Conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Very pleasant late this afternoon with the temperatures in the upper 50s to near 60. Clear to partly cloudy skies tonight. Lows drop back in the low and mid 20s, and then mostly sunny to partly cloudy on Wednesday. Still very nice. Highs in the mid 50s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
With almost everything in life, you have choices. You can pick a lot, a little, or somewhere in the middle. So shouldn't there be an internet plan that's just as clever? One that allows you to add TV or home automation whenever. That's why Cox now offers flexible internet plans, giving you all the services you desire at nothing you don't require. Additional services can be added at then current regular rates. All services subject to residential customer service agreement and acceptable use policy found at cox.com/policies. Restrictions apply.
It's your time for higher education, not higher debt. And it all starts with a scholarship application to Metropolitan Community College. Every year, MCC awards more than $3 million in scholarships to students. In less than 5 minutes with a single application, you can apply for all the scholarships available to you. It's your time to path forward. Let MCC show you the way. Register today. Classes start December 1st. Apply today at mccneb.edu/scholarships.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power and savings with style. Not to mention top tech to help keep you connected. Plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years, with a hybrid or electric vehicle built for every driver. Seriously, dear gas prices? Do you really think you can stand in our way? Think again. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear, shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're certified transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
The Creighton Blue Jays continue play in one of the nation's premier early season tournaments, the Maui Invitational. Check 1620thezone.com for air times Tuesday and Wednesday. The Blue Jays in the Maui Invitational on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Keg.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want? I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/enjoy. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/enjoy. That's BARTESIAN.com/enjoy for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for soccer to hit the world stage again, and FanDuel wants you to get in on the action when America takes the pitch. Because when you bet on Team USA in group play, all customers get free bets back if they don't win. Why? Because when you bet on Team USA in group play, all customers get free bets back if they don't win. All tournament long, FanDuel has your favorite bet types, including some that are exclusive just to soccer. Plus, just like any other sport, you can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday with the same game parlay. However you want to play, be sure to back the red, white, and blue because all customers get free bets back if Team USA doesn't win. Free bets back if Team USA doesn't win. Just sign up with promo code HAPPER if you don't already have an account. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 and over, present in Iowa. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet ranging from $5 to $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Unsportsmanlike conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peters.
I can only keep track of rednecks when they have a number on the side of their car.
On 1620 The Zone.
Here's a story of a man named Brunsey who covers Husker sports, boys and girls, like football and basketball, even weightlifting, like front squats and curls. Then one day, good old Brunsey called a talk show, and acting on what they thought was a hunch, John and Josh wanted to start a family. And now we get to talk to Michael Brunts. It's Michael Brunts. Michael Brunts. Now we get to talk to Michael Brunts.
His name's Michael Brunts, and he joins us on the Les Hills Harley-Davidson hotline, Husker 24/7 Sports. Bruntsy, what up?
Hello.
I'm with your colleague Mike Schaefer today. We're having a grand old time.
Are you?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah,
Schaefer,
you guys talking Vikes Cowboys at all today?
We have not brought that up. We have barely talked about it with each other at all over the last 48 hours.
There's really not a lot to discuss. The game sort of ended on the third play. Yeah, no, that's not true. The Vikings had a chance to take a lead when TJ Hawkinson dropped that touchdown.
He had a rough game. Hawkinson had a rough game.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just, it's a bad NFL game. You brush it off. You look at your 8-2 record, and you move on.
Yeah, you're on to the next one. You're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah. Well, it's like a couple friends have a bad night, and you just kind of decide to, without saying anything, move on and never speak of it again.
Yep.
Until somebody brings it up on the radio, I guess.
Plus, great point, Bruns. Plus, I am not someone, and this might surprise some listeners, and I'm serious when I say this. I don't talk trash when my team beats a dear friend of mine's team.
Yeah, I don't generally.
I don't operate in that way. Now, if Schaef would be the type of person who would talk trash, then yeah, I'd send it back his way. But Schaef and I don't have that type of relationship.
I kind of just leave people alone.
Yeah.
Not even if like your friend, like in Schaefer's case, if like you had a friend that was like a really big Packers fan, or like in Josh's case, like a really big Giants fan or something like that, you wouldn't needle him just a little bit.
See, like Robin Washington and I needle each other, but I mean, what can he really say to me? Dallas is like 10-1 against them over the last 5 years. It's
he
like
just probably pointed at the two Super Bowls.
He points at the Super Bowls. But Brunts, you mentioned the Packers. One of my best friends is a Packers fan, and he is insufferable about his team when they're good, but also very whiny about his team when they're bad. And so he gets to have the best of both worlds. He cried the whole day leading up to that game and then immediately started talking trash afterwards. I'm like, you're not allowed to do this. You got to pick a lane. You got to either be abrasive the whole time or not abrasive at all.
Do we have the same friend, Josh?
Screw you, Aaron. God, I'm still triggered about that stupid.
Sometimes I make fun of Josh's friend Aaron through Josh to him, which is a good way to talk trash.
Aaron texted me to say something to you on Sunday, and I was like, I'm not going to
having
say
a middleman for trash talk is fantastic.
I'm not going to say any of these things to him. Bruns, how about this for you? Michael Bruns, Husker 24/7 Sports. So we have the Maui Classic on right now. I want to say this. I don't think that you are ever going to have to watch a Nebraska ball performance this year that is as bad as what Louisville has put together. They had 13 points in the first half. So far in the second half, with 6:13 to go, they have another 10 points for a total of 23 points.
Math.
That's a long way to go in a plane to suck. That's my first take.
Yeah.
Man, that's bad. They've like lost some really ugly games already too, right? I've seen them on the scroll in some pretty good, pretty bad scrolling games.
Tough scrolls.
I can recall.
They're 0-4 right now.
Yeah, they're about to be 0-5. They're down by 33.
Well, that's crazy. Yeah, if Nebraska basketball ever does play in Maui, I think I'd like to go cover that if possible. But
no, you got to go to Iowa City that year. So sorry.
Yeah, so that's too bad for Louisville and people that have to watch it because I'm not watching it.
Speaking of Iowa City, Bruns, can Nebraska beat Iowa on a Friday? And if so, how are they going to do it?
You're going to need Iowa's quarterback to play like Iowa's quarterback. That's how I think it has to happen. I think you need kind of almost like in 2014 where you had like some fluky special team stuff, or maybe you get the kind of touchdown that Iowa always seems to score against Nebraska, where a screen pass is floated directly to a waiting defensive lineman or some really bad strip sack or something like that. Like I just think in order to score enough points to win, Nebraska is going to need points to come from somewhere other than their offense. I just think Iowa's that good. So, and I mean, that's even with, Iowa giving up, 263 to Ibrahim last week. I mean, I just don't think that Nebraska has the kind of running game focus to continue to try to just bang away at Iowa's defense. So I think it's got to be a little fluky if they're going to win that game.
Bruns, what's the biggest difference for you? I mean, Nebraska's 3-8 again going into this game. Obviously, there's a different head coach and there's a coaching search going on. But just for what's happening on the field, why does 2021 and 2022 just feel dramatically different about kind of the lead up to this game?
Well, I guess part of it might be that, last year going into the Iowa game, there was at least a little bit of clarity about what was going to happen. I don't know if that makes it a little bit different. And I guess maybe I'm wrong, but it felt like last year's team was kind of like a lot more people were kind of buying into the thought that Nebraska was really close, given how they've lost games. And this year it feels a little bit more like, okay, it's just like a continuation of the way that 2021 played out, but just with different actors. So that's kind of where I come down on it. Is just I don't know. I mean, I can't remember a Nebraska game just kind of feeling like it means this little on the field, just based on what's going to happen after the season's over. So that's a weird place to be. And I think last year's kind of clarity of Frost coming back in November, and the kind of the staffers stepping in as assistant coaches. I think that kind of focused things a little bit more last year. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Michael Bruns, Husker 24/7 Sports, joining us here on Unsportsmanlike. It goes right into what I wanted to ask you about, Bruns, and it's a topic that Schaef and I are going to tackle in a couple of hours. Like, are there redeeming qualities from this season? Like, does this season for Nebraska football have any redeeming qualities? Because ultimately, I mean, we've been throwing around the phrase lost season for a while now, and I don't know, I just kind of have leaned that way the closer we get to the end of the year. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's little things you can kind of take away. I mean, you're kind of at the point now where you need to look at individual performances and guys that you feel good about who will likely be back next year. It's interesting to me how many of those guys are on the defensive side of the ball. I would say almost most, if not all, are on that side of the ball. Speaking of Hartzog and Hausman and even Marcus Buford, even though it sounds like he's got some stuff to come back from. So I think you can take that away from the season. I from just a recruiting point of view, I don't know if Schaefer would disagree with me, but I think the fact that Mickey Joseph has actually really kind of focused Nebraska in these last 8 weeks on in-state recruiting in a lot of ways, I think has been a good thing, not only in 23, but beyond with some of the offers that he made. And I think that's something that can carry over to whoever the new head coach is. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know that it's a lost season, but I just think you really got to kind of dig in and, get kind of micro to find things that were kind of, that you can take into 2023 next year.
Does some of the malaise about this have to do with the fact that we don't know which guys are even coming back? I feel like part of it for me is just, you don't even know, is this the last Casey Thompson game? Or are you going to see Trey Palmer again? Like, who on this roster are you going to see in 2023? And so when you have that much of a question, it almost seems like it should create intrigue, but it maybe just goes the other way a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and that's just the thing is like, you don't know. I mean, when you've got Colton Feast, who's a walk-on from UTAN, standing at the front of the podium today saying that he's got a decision to make at the end of the year, which he does. I mean, I think that kind of lays bare kind of what, is ahead for whatever the new coaching staff looks like and what this roster is going to look like. As much as the opportunities there, I think, for the right hire to maybe kind of rally the guys on the roster right now. I mean, you also have the potential there with the way the portal is and that December 5th date kind of looming that this roster is going to look really, really, really different next season. And, even, markers that would normally be a little bit of, something you can count on for what next year's going to look like. I'm thinking about senior day and who walked there. Colton Feast has already walked twice and can come back and do it again. Casey Thompson walked. He's still a question mark. I mean, I think you're right that, the team that walks off the field against Iowa, is going to look a heck of a lot different from the team that we're covering in spring ball. And I think that I sometimes forget that until you hear a guy like Colton Feast say that he's going to go home and talk it over with his family with what he's going to do. So it's the next hire is kind of only the start of what's just going to be an absolutely crazy 2 months in the portal of guys going in, coming out. And, I think it's going to be, even on a next level compared to what it has been in the past.
Are you prepped with snacks and everything for transfer portal Armageddon? Because I don't know how often we're going to be leaving the house.
There's a strong chance that it's going to be. You've known me for a while, and there comes a point in every winter where you open that fridge and you're like, I've got mustard, like 2 eggs, and that's about it. So I don't know. Maybe I need to go to Costco this week and like load up on goldfish or something. Like I just need like a 7-pound bag of goldfish.
The official snack of the transfer portal.
I like that idea. You guys should have snacks for the portal. The official snacks of the portal. Hey, speaking of food, Brunts, what's on your perfect Thanksgiving Day plate?
Nothing with sweet potatoes.
Nice.
You give me some stuffing with a little bit of a little bit of gravy on there. You get this is the one time of year you get to break the gravy boat out. That's always a good time. I can get down with some green bean casserole if it's done correctly. I don't know. Garlic mashed potatoes. I mean, I'm not a plain mashed potato kind of guy, so that's kind of where I would lean right now, just off the top of my head for my perfect lineup of sides.
You're completely out on cranberry sauce, right? Like one of the two of you you or BC are like completely out on cranberry sauce. I'm not a big fan of it either.
I don't mind it. I can be okay with it as long as it's not like shaped like the can, and you get that kind of cranberry situation there. But I'm okay with that. The sweet potato stuff, that's where I draw the line. None of that.
Well, Bruns, we wish you a very happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at 1620 The Zone and Unsportsmanlike Conduct. I look forward to all of your transfer portal updates while you are eating the various goldfish.
Just machine gunning 7 pounds of goldfish. That's how much I'm going to eat in the next 45 days. Count on it.
Yeah, well, you got to get probably 4 bags in if you're going to try to make it last that long.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, happy Thanksgiving, Bruns. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, that is Michael Bruns joining us here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
That seems like tremendous product placement. Like someone listening to this that has like local snacks should basically be like, you know what? We want to be the official snack partner
of the
for the transfer portal. And every time Husker 24/7 has a podcast, we will just talk about it.
I think that's great. You know, like our good friend Mike Sauter, he'll do these videos and, have little graphics and all sorts of things behind him. You could, what's the pretzel things? Dots? Is that that's local, right?
I think it is.
Support local. You could be snacking on them. Like, all right, here's an update on the quarterback situation as you're just downing these pretzels. I'd watch that content. That would be great content.
I mean, this is where Happer was talking about how I really enjoy this stuff.
Yeah, you're good at it.
You'd have
lunch.
The whole segment could be Dot's thirst for the transfer portal because pretzels make you thirsty, and we're just dropping knowledge on you, and you're getting quenched.
See, this is great.
This is fantastic.
And you eat the whole time. By the end of it, you need a drink, and then that's when you bring in your other sponsor, and it's Coors Banquet beer, something like that.
Love ideas.
There you go.
This is great.
I love ideas.
Like lunch.
You're a big idea guy. You had the whiteboard and everything.
I really like the sponsoring marketing aspect of all of it. I like to create that stuff. Do I implement it? Do I ever get the people to give me the money or the dots or whatever it is?
Man, dots.
I don't.
I love dots.
But should I?
Yes. You know what else we love, Schaef, here on the show? Besides Michael Bruns and dots?
I don't know, giving each other crap.
Giving Tuesday is what we love. Mike Schaefer and 1620 The Zone is proud to support Share Omaha's Giving Tuesday coming up 1 week from today on the 29th. You can support your favorite nonprofits through Share Omaha and the newly launched Share Iowa. And if you want to donate before November 29th, or you want to find out ways to volunteer on Giving Tuesday, visit Share Omaha or Share Iowa's websites for a list of nonprofits that need support this holiday season. More details can be found at 1620thezone.com. Also, speaking of donating for Milt 2.0, you can continue to donate to GoFundMe in partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Nebraska. Do not forget, if we reach our goal of $2,500, Josh Odson is going to get mayonnaise dumped all over him. So this will be a really good time. Again, we will not do it outside because we don't want him to freeze to death with mayonnaise all over himself. But we will be doing this. If we are able to get past $2,500, we're over 10% to that goal. Tom tweets in, Schaef, on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed, connecting the dots.
Hey.
Look at this.
Do you get hypothermia from cold mayo?
Probably.
Huh.
Let's dump mayonnaise on you and have you stand out in 5-degree weather, Nick.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl completely disagrees with that theory, but it's probably not cold enough down
I was going to say it's not 5 degrees. Where's Duke's played at? Is that in Carolina?
Yeah.
One of the Carolinas? It's somewhere in the south.
Sometimes there's a cold front over
You
there.
get warm mayo on you?
All right.
That's dangerous. You don't want warm mayo.
Yeah, indeed. Coaching search stuff. I have a question for you. What we're expecting from this next head coach. And you threw out the name Bronco Mendenhall yesterday. We could talk about Bronco Mendenhall when we return. John Bishop will join us in 45 minutes as well. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Scott Graham of Westwood One. Join us Thursday for a triple helping of football on Thanksgiving. First, the Detroit Lions host Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Then it's an NFC East matchup when the Giants face the Cowboys in Dallas. And finally, the New England Patriots meet the Minnesota Vikings on Thanksgiving night. Our special holiday coverage begins at 12 noon Eastern Time. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1620 The Zone.
Are you that relative who's always asked to bring plates and napkins to the family dinner? Bring brews instead, especially quality, locally brewed Nebraska beers and ciders. The Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild wants you to know that local brewers are working on special seasonal beverages to make your holiday family get-togethers a day full of fun, football, and feasting. Lots and lots of feasting. Plus, you'll never be asked to bring plates and napkins again, especially if your goofy cousin from Iowa brings that state's favorite beer. Cheers.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more. Join the show immediately after the game and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction on 101.9 The Keg and 1620 The Zone.
It had been 35 years since I was behind the wheel of Grandpa's Ford F-150, and boy, things have changed. The ride in the 2023 Ford F-150 from Woodhouse Ford is as smooth as any sedan. There's so much space and functionality in the cab. Big digital gauges, huge touchscreen entertainment system with cameras to help you both park and trailer. There's driver assist to keep you in your lane and pro trailering system to help you haul and get your stuff to your destination safely. Plus, all that power for towing comes with Ford's EcoBoost engine, which gets great fuel mileage. Yeah, Grandpa wouldn't recognize many of the features of today's Ford F-150, but he'd recognize the one thing that has made the Ford F-150 America's best-selling truck. It's still built Ford tough. Take advantage of Woodhouse's allocation and order your new 2023 Ford F-150 today. WoodhouseFord.com or visit them at their showrooms in Omaha, Blair, or Plattsmouth. The 2023 Ford F-150 at Woodhouse Ford.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. Despite being one of only 2 Blue Jays to score in double figures in each of the first 2 games, Arthur Kaluma was recovering from an off-season injury. He says the best is still yet to come.
I still haven't been cleared to work out on my own. So most of the time when I get in the gym, it's just with the guys and we practice. But to a certain extent, once I'm able to really get in the gym on my own, I feel like you'll see a totally different player and I'll get my reps up. And the stat sheet going to look a lot better.
Your most important assets are your body, your mind, and your future. When those are jeopardized by an injury that isn't your fault, you need to fight back and regain your life. Barry Law has represented thousands of Nebraskans, protecting their rights and securing their futures. If you've been injured in an accident, add more firepower to your fight. Choose the injury attorneys at Barry Law to make that next step. Call Barry Law at 402-999-7777 or visit BarryLawFirm.com. At Barry Law, we fight alongside those who choose to fight back.
The holidays are here. This holiday season, we encourage you to come support our local stores in Omaha. And Westwood Plaza has everything you need to find that perfect gift. Do you have a sewer in your life? Then So Creative has the perfect holiday gift. So Creative offers a wide range of sewing machines, embroidery machines, fabric, and everything needed to get the next project started. They offer classes for all skill levels, from an absolute beginner to an advanced sewist. Come and get your holiday gifts taken care of at So Creative on 125th and Center inside Westwood Plaza. Do you have someone in your life that could use some pampering for the holidays? Then head to Love is in the Hair, 125th and Center inside Westwood Plaza. Love is in the Hair is committed to providing the best experience to every client that walks through the door and helping every individual feel their absolute best. Over 25 years of experience in hair for the entire family, whether it's highlight, color, cuts, or waxing. Everything you need to shop locally for the holidays is at Westwood Plaza in Omaha.
The gift of Ancestry DNA is one that you never really finish unwrapping, with new surprises in store long after the holidays are over. Dad could discover that he probably gets his love of German food from his mom's side of the family. Or Grandma could find out that her connection to Africa is even stronger than she thought. There's no telling where their stories will lead, but there's only one way to find out. Save on Ancestry DNA now during our holiday sale. Visit Ancestry.com today.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Josh Peterson, Mike Schaefer, here on Sportsmanlike Conduct, 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. We played a fun new game earlier called Truth or Tweet with Connor Happer in the crossover. If you missed that, I do recommend going and giving it another chance. Putting a bow on transfer portal coverage brought to you by Dots. John says
Well, they actually need to sponsor.
Right? Yeah, that's true. Dots are from North Dakota. That's kind of local. That's supporting kind of local.
There's got to be a Nebraska snack
Is there?
company, right?
I don't know. Is there a Nebraska snack
well,
company?
There's like Nebraska potato chips, like that are
there?
local. I think there used to be a potato chip factory in Lincoln.
Really?
Pretty sure I'm not making this up.
Huh.
Not gotta be like, and then there's like Herman's Nut House over here in Omaha. That's a thing. You're not familiar with that?
I know Herman and Deschler.
I found a website.
Truth or tweet.
Buynebraska.com. What do we got? We got summer sausage, bison summer sausage.
I mean, guess.
Gourmet pickled asparagus, maple bacon cashews. These are, I'm not seeing anything
these
sweet.
aren't going to sponsor the transfer portal coverage. Zach says Schaefer would just keep saying, these pretzels are making me thirsty over and over. You would. That would be what you said.
Yeah, Herman's Nut House is now called Marathon Ventures.
Marathon?
Yeah.
Is it about running?
It's over in Bellevue. I knew that there was a Herman's Nut House.
I love the name of that. There's a lot of nuts and popcorn in Nebraska.
Well, yeah, I should talk to people at Colby Ridge.
There you go.
They should be the official snack.
I love it. I love you guys doing bite-sized videos every single day. It's the Transfer Portal Minute brought to you by such and such. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Plus, people would. I'd watch it. Like, oh, give me the update. What's the scoop?
If only we were allowed to have local control of our marketing and everything.
Did I just wander us into?
No. I mean,
Sorry, I apologize.
I can't.
I'm not gonna.
These are fun ideas. I can't enact them without.
You can get some freeze-dried
gobs and gobs of corporate lawyers.
The corporate daddy, your corporate daddy. You have to ask corporate.
That's what
You
happens.
have to ask CBS. Who run Les Moonves? Is it still him?
He was a couple controversies ago.
Oh,
so.
that's right. Did he? What? You know what? Let's just move
You
on
don't
as
wanna
quickly
know.
as possible.
You don't want to know.
Yeah. Triggered Ryan says the transfer portal sponsored by Kool-Aid. Oh yeah. Just picture Schaefer running through a wall for every update. That'd be great. You could wear red every time.
I would like somehow dress up like a fat macho man, Randy Savage, and just come through a wall.
The bit would just slowly morph.
So that
into
way I
him.
get to do both the Randy Savage, oh yeah voice, but also the Kool-Aid
running
thing.
in. Oh man.
And I like to go through a wall. It'd be great.
CBS Business Daddy. We're giving you free ideas. Free ideas. Cody says have it sponsored by Dorothy Lynch. If you're looking for the sweet and tangy takes, come to Husker 24/7 Sports.
I would have to fight the good people of the Husker Sports Network, I'm sure, to get Dorothy Lynch involved.
They'll be interested.
You know,
maybe
you put it on your hot dog.
Oh, what? Is that
There
what
was a
people
commercial
do?
one time.
Oh,
What?
What the hell
That's
is wrong with
disgusting.
people? I guess you could do that in the video. Dorothy Lynch
I
on my
tried
dog.
it. Not good.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
I knew a girl in high school who'd put it on her school pizza. It was
What?
the worst thing in the world.
I've heard about that.
Why are people so strange?
I don't know. Put ranch on it like a normal person.
Yeah. Asian Joe says Vicks popcorn.
Yeah, I think that's
Isn't
basically
that Sweet Harvest now? Didn't that change? All these things used to be something, and then they got bought up.
Also pointed out you guys forgot pipeline beef jerky. Is that
it's all beef jerky. It's all beef jerky.
Yeah, what's
and
the
cheese and nuts.
Jurgensen? What's his beef jerky called? Jergy Burgy?
Beef jerky.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Jerky Burgy?
I don't know, Nick. I'm just saying.
He's in Philadelphia now.
Just saying random words. Yeah, that's right. He is in Philadelphia now. Man, I hope that when he's the starter, he snaps the ball over Jalen Hurts' head. I hope that happens next year and beyond. Sorry, I got to hate you. I have to hate you. 402-951-1620. Let us go to the Les Hills Harley-Davidson hotline before we talk some coaching search. Next, Mike wants to talk coaching search. Hello, Mike.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
I just got, and this is probably a very unpopular take, but I am just overly sick of the coaching search. And it's, Schaef, no offense, but it's every week. It's another name or two or three that's out there, and none of them seem to pan out or hold water. And then the ones that do get released, like Brocco Mendenhall, are so underwhelming. It's not really, to use a metaphor, blowing my skirt up. That's getting me excited about, the following season for Nebraska. And to be honest, with where the program is right now, I don't know that you're going to get that splash hire every Husker fan I think is hoping for. But I would also, and again, it goes to the underwhelming hire. I would also be tickled to death if Nebraska could get like a Chris Kleiman. I think he would be an underwhelming hire, but I believe in that guy and him being able to build a program. And right now with with how bad this has gotten and how apathetic the fans are. You have to. That's where Nebraska is right now. It has to be rebuilt. This isn't a come in and quick fix kind of deal.
Mike, thanks for the call. 402-951-1620.
I am not offended at all in the slightest, Mike. I mean, I would expect people to be sick of it by now. I mean, I'm not super jazzed that it's in day 72 or whatever, but that's the reality that when Trev Alberts made that decision in September, you weren't ever expecting a coach to be announced before November. And then, so the timeline of it is so unique compared to what we're used to, right? Like, the coach is supposed to be let go at the end of the season, and then you get like this weird 10-day stretch or less where Nebraska could have an entirely different coach and everything's condensed into a sprint. But when it's made into this marathon, what ends up happening is you get a bunch of stops and starts. And I think with the way that Trev Alberts has kept a lid on information, you get stuff that shows up that doesn't necessarily have a basis in reality. So people, extend their grace to learning about this, and then they find out that turns out Zach Smith is not a reliable source for coaching information. So Deion Sanders won't be Nebraska's next coach. Or that guy that you talk to when you're both outside mowing the lawn, and he says that he saw a tweet that Urban Meyer was at Millard Lumber in Waverly. These aren't real things, so that's just kind of part of it. Is 70 days of wondering who the face of Nebraska football is going to be is a really long time. And it creates this sort of vacuum that only ever gets filled. Like, people weren't going to not talk about it.
Yep.
And some people weren't going to not throw out fake rumors just because it's what entertains them. And so the rest of it is just trying to walk through.
On September 12th, I tweeted out, because I came to the realization that morning that this coaching search, in all likelihood, was going to last twice as long as the one that Steve Peterson ran that ultimately resulted in the hiring of Bill Callahan. And when I came to that realization, it kind of mentally prepared me for the slog that this thing would be. And I think for a while, Schaef, people got maybe lulled into a false sense of security with it, because what was one of the things that we said a lot in October and even early November? Wow, we're not hearing anything. This is incredible how quiet it's been. And at a certain point, like, that's just not feasible anymore, because they are talking to coaches, they are talking to agents, and then those people are going to spread stuff. Some of it true, some of it not, some of it for their benefit, some of it not. And that's now where we find ourselves. And so I understand that viewpoint. I've talked to a lot of people that have said that exact same thing over the last, week. Like, I'm just sick of this. I'm so annoyed and sick of this. And I get it.
Yeah. What I find sort of fun about the coaching search right now, fun's not really the word I would use, but it's the word I use. So whatever.
Interesting.
When you get the names on like that full list, and there's an extra 7 to 8 to pad it out, and those 7 to 8 are more interesting than where the final 6 land. And then you're looking at those final 6, and in mid-September, Lance Leipold looks a lot better than when it's mid-November, and suddenly Lance Leipold's possibility of being the next coach at Nebraska is staring you right in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And you think to yourself, yeah, maybe I wasn't as excited about this guy as I was
when he was 4-0.
When it didn't seem like it was what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And
that's a good way to put it.
I think that's the case for some of these candidates. And then the reverse is also true, where when there's this full list of candidates in September, and I'm going through them, and I'm like, man, Chris Kleiman would be a pretty boring hire when you have all these other options. But now, when Chris Kleiman is stacked up against Lance Leipold and Bronco Mendenhall and potentially Matt Rule and honking for Jeff Monken and
honk.
Yeah.
And now we're honk for Bronk. Honk,
no.
Honko for Bronco.
Put that one away.
Honk.
So it's you get those kind of those switches in the mentality, and now I'm looking at it and I'm like, and you have the hindsight of, well, Chris Kleiman's a pretty good coach, which we already knew going in, but then I think Kansas State's winning their next 2 games. Like, I think they're going to be the Big 12 champions.
I do too.
I think they're going to be playing on New Year's Day.
Yep.
I think they're going to be 11 and or 10 and 3.
10 and 3.
And frankly, they probably should be 11 and 2, maybe even should be 12 and 1. And in the back of my head, I'm already thinking about how a few years from now, they would be playing in the college football playoff. And so I went from Chris Kleiman's kind of boring to that'd be a really good hire to, well, does he even need to leave to get to where he wants to go?
It's a great point. I wanted to hit on something that we just kind of alluded to when we return, and that is like, what are we expecting from Nebraska's next head coach? We just got a call who said that Chris Kleiman would be underwhelming. And that's, I think, a good jumping off point. We will do that when we return. John Bishop is going to join us in a half hour as well. We'll talk about the Creighton and Arkansas game that is coming up in just a little bit. Arkansas took down Louisville yesterday. Of course, Creighton took down Texas Tech, a battle of a couple of top 10 teams. We will do that in a little bit. He's Mike Schaef from Josh Peterson. Unsportsmanlike Conduct rolls on next, 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center, we've got some slowdowns to report on Center Street all the way from 108th to 72nd Street, as well as on Dodge from 90th to 72nd, and on West Center Road from 204th all the way over to Bob Boozer Drive, where that construction is slowing people down. Remember to pull those turkeys out of the freezer and get them thawed. I'm Dan Campanen.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
Through January 4th, 2023, enter non-winning Nebraska Lottery Holiday Wishes scratch tickets for a chance to win $1, $5, or $10,000. It's the Holiday Wishes Second Chance promotion, so enter today. Top prize odds vary by game.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power and savings with style. Not to mention top tech to help keep you connected. Plush, premium interiors, and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. With a hybrid or electric vehicle built for every driver. Seriously, dear gas prices? Do you really think you can stand in our way? Think again. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Here's an opportunity for business-to-business salespeople. NRG Media is looking for someone who gets excited about helping local businesses grow. Are you an idea person who can create and execute a plan? We should talk. At NRG Media, we create local marketing campaigns designed to meet a key challenge. On air, online, on-site, audio, video. It's all part of what you could do. A sales career with NRG lets you make a real difference. Business-to-business salespeople? Apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Severe for Ted and Wally's, and a happy holiday season for you. It is a great time to prepare for ice cream. It's always a great time for ice cream, right? But here's how you prepare. You go and you get a gift card, and then you give it to someone, and you know what they do? They love you forever because you've given them ice cream, and you've given them Ted and Wally's ultra premium ice cream as well, made with 20% butterfat over 35 years with 3,000 different flavors. They also have great merchandise as well, all with the gift card. Head over to 2 locations, Benson and the Old Market, and tell them Severe sent you.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
This Black Friday, where do prices dropping mean upgrade your home shopping? Lowe's, actually. Save big this holiday on some big home appliances, like a limited-time Samsung Bespoke Laundry Pan. Was $2,898, now $1,719, for a total savings of $1,179. Black Friday is here. Don't miss out on savings for the season and deals to get your whole home ready at Lowe's. Home to any possibility. Offer valid through 11/23. Exclusions apply. See store for details.
Mini bowling. What is it? It's Bob and Willie's Wonder Bowl. That's what is it. Bob and Willie's Wonder Bowl is half the size, but twice the fun of regular bowling. Smaller balls and shorter lanes means it's easier to play. Enjoy craft cocktails, beer pitcher specials, arcade games. From the kitchen, there's tavern-style pizza, fries, and wings, too. Plan your next party with mini bowling. Great for team building, birthdays, graduations, holiday parties, and more. Bob and Willie's Wonder Bowl, 38th and Bottom in Omaha, and coming soon to Lincoln. Click wonderbowling.com.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Welcome back. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Also 1620 The Zone TV. Again, tomorrow we will be back. It might be a full show, might be off a little bit early. Just depends on if Creighton wins or loses tonight. And then off Thursday and Friday, there will be, though, a bigger overreaction. And if anything goes down this weekend with the coaching search, we will have you covered, whether it's on 1620 The Zone or on 1620thezone.com. An email from Thomas, and for the record, Schaef, Thomas is a Creighton Blue Jays fan. He says, serious question for Schaef. He said something about a neighbor mowing their lawn, saying they saw Coach X at the Ace on 56th and Normal. Every quote-unquote Nebraska media member is that guy. Can Schaef convince me otherwise? I followed up because I'm a little confused as to like
what guy.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is like spreading rumors guy? Is that what Thomas is getting at?
So I'm trying to think. Like,
I think Thomas is saying Nebraska media members are homers. I think that's what he's getting at, but that they're.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I followed up. We'll see if he has anything.
Nebraska media members aren't the ones tweeting out that they saw so and so in a.
That's what I said. I haven't seen any of those.
So I don't even know what the point he's trying to make is.
Yeah, we'll see if he follows up there. We
Hopefully Creighton goes better for him tonight than the email that he sent in.
And if it does go better from tonight, we'll be on from 2 to 3:30 tomorrow. Aiden, the positive Aiden emails in Equitable Bank inbox. He goes, "Are Nebraska fans dumb?" So I guess we're just going to lean right into this. How in the world would Chris Kleiman be an underwhelming hire? He's been successful everywhere he has been. The cognitive dissonance of this fan base is jarring. And that leads into a question that I wanted to ask you about, Schaef, and that is basically...
I have a question for you, and we're done with
Perfect. And he followed up, by the way. He says, yes, they spread unfounded rumors. I have not seen... Where has this happened?
It's from people who just don't trust media sources.
Okay, that's fine. That
tends to say more about them than anything.
What are we expecting from Nebraska's next head coach? Because, I put out a poll question yesterday that asked, like, who do you... Essentially, it's kind of like, call your shot. We're at the end of the road. Who's going to be the next head coach? And I put 3 names down because on Twitter you can do 4 options. So
you got to have C results as one of the options.
And I didn't. I had write in. I had to choose your own adventure. So the 3 that I chose were Lance Leipold, Chris Kleiman, and Honkin from Honkin. So I had Jeff Monken and then those other 2. And then the honk, and then the vote for other category. And other is winning by far. It has the majority of the votes. There's almost like 3,000 votes right now. And so it's a lot of like, all of these coaches suck. That's basically what it is. And, if it's not Urban Meyer, then, nothing is good enough for me. And I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure out if anything is going to be good enough.
No.
Because,
I lost my mind sitting in this chair in October when I filled in for a show with Gary in the morning because I was so tired of, like, people already poisoning the well on candidates like a month in advance before they were even seriously going to be candidates.
Yeah.
And it's part of it is Nebraska fans have a very strong expectation of the type of person that is going to be the head coach in their program. They think it's going to be someone that's nationally relevant.
Mhm.
They think it's going to be someone with a long history of winning with the potential of bringing more winning along. And none of these coaches fit that image. And I'm guilty of this too when I talk about how, like, when I first initially looked at the list, and I think that Chris Kleiman's a really good coach, and I did in September too. But the idea of Chris Kleiman as a head coach of Nebraska just struck me as boring.
Sure.
And it still sort of does. But the thing
maybe
about
that's what they
that,
need.
well, but the thing about it is, like, a coach can be boring, but it doesn't mean that he's not effective. I think you can't, I shouldn't say you can't, but it seems like a lot of this is people want their cake and they want to be able to eat it too. They want a flashy big hire that fits Nebraska of 1990s or 80s or 70s, whatever, fits the history of Nebraska, but is also, going to be nationally relevant and good and successful. Like, it's just, you're never going to get the whole package. The whole package was when Scott Frost got here, he was the most coveted coach.
Mhm.
He had a ton of steam behind him. He had a history that cemented him as accepted by Nebraskans right away.
He was the best of literally everything you want. Nationally relevant, and he has local ties. He was the perfect storm that will never come up again.
And
he
if
is
it
a one of
wasn't
one.
Scott Frost in that cycle and you go through,
Yeah.
people would have picked apart every other name.
Justin Fuente.
Well, that was the second name. That
Yeah.
was the next most likely guy. And then you go into the 2014 cycle, and it ends up being Mike Riley. But before it was Mike Riley, and remember, we were sitting in this exact month doing this exact show.
Mhm.
We're going through those names at that time or shortly after. I don't remember what tournament that they were playing in. We would go through these names, and it's like, were you getting excited about Mike Gundy at that point? Not really. In retrospect, everybody loves Kyle Whittingham.
Yep.
I don't know that there was this underground swell movement of people that were like, would have been overwhelmed or had their skirts blown above their head with Kyle Whittingham in 2014.
Second skirts reference today.
Yeah, well, I was playing off of the earlier reference. So it's one of those things where I think it's really hard. How many of those candidates even exist?
Not very many.
Like, if you
that would actually consider Nebraska,
if you
not very
condense it
many.
to just this cycle, it's basically and every single one of them has warts. Like, even the ones that were really,
even the ones that are close.
Urban Meyer has his own sort of like, well, look what happened with Jacksonville.
The
and
literal
how much does he
best coach
care?
that people want
Right.
has his own host of issues.
Right.
They're different issues than other guys, but he has them.
And then guys like Lane Kiffin or Luke Fickell, you'd still have at least a small level of detractors that are just butting everything about their resume.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we've set upon ourselves that there is a perfect coach out there that's for this job, and yet your version of a perfect coach is going to be different than his version of a perfect coach.
Yeah.
And in reality, there's a lot of people that can do a lot better at Nebraska than what we've seen for the last 7 years.
Yeah, exactly. Luke says, which realistic coaching candidate do you think would make the highest percentage of the fan base the most happy? Jack Mitchell and I discussed this late last night, and we ultimately came to, now it depends on how you view this candidate as realistic or not. And I don't think he is that realistic, but we agreed that Luke Fickell is probably the closest to a universal support that is maybe in the mix or could be in the mix. I don't tend to think that that is a very likely hire, but if I give you like 10 names, and you would know the 10 names right off the top of your head pretty easily, 9 or 10 names. If he is on that list, I think he has the most universal support. Then it's like him, it's Lane, and then in my opinion, it goes to Rule. And then after that, like we were using baseball terms, home run, triple, and then it was a lot of like maybe a double, maybe reach. I don't remember which candidate it was. It was like a strikeout, but the catcher drops it and he reaches first anyway. I think that might have been, maybe it wasn't Leipold, but either way, like those.
I swear I was doing this recently.
We've all been doing. We've all been doing this.
Well,
so
same with the baseball analogy.
Yeah, and that's the I think you and I did it on the phone one day. I think we were just doing it when I was in my office.
Was it like off-air podcast on Sunday?
Yeah. It was when we were talking on the phone.
I think I said somebody was in air.
Yeah. Right.
I was going to say this all sounds very familiar to me.
So I guess the baseball's been on the brain lately, but that's the problem. Is like there's not going to be. Again, Frost was a 1-1, a one of one. He is so unique. What was the question you wanted to ask me?
Has anyone ever been whelmed? Like you got overwhelmed and underwhelmed, and everybody's one version of those. But when's the last time you were just whelmed?
Whelmed.
Who's a coach that would whelm the fan base?
Whelm the fan base.
Because I would have thought Chris Kleiman.
I would figure that he would, man.
I would be surprised if
What
you
about
could really
Monken?
be underwhelmed.
No, he'd
Would
be
Monken-
very. He'd
They'd be
would
very
be.
underwhelming.
He is a Nick
Underwhelming?
of the. I just mentioned 9 or 10
Bronco would
coaches.
be underwhelming. Monken would be
Monken,
underwhelming.
I think. I don't remember if Monken or Mendenhall. One of those guys were the
Leipold-
floor.
Leipold would be closer to underwhelming than whelming.
But yeah, he'd be on that.
Yeah, and I don't even know that whelming is a thing.
Yeah,
but I
it
assume
should
it has
be.
to be
Yeah.
if there's an over.
Is Patterson? Would he be whelming or is he underwhelming?
Depends. I think it's a split fan base on that one.
Yeah.
I think
The people who really like him would be like, "This is a great hire.
Right.
Look at what he did." But the people who are like, "He is not fit for modern college football,"
Right.
and that's where you and I would be, and we'd be shouting. Into
out
the
of
wind.
everyone we've talked about, he is the one that I would have the least confidence could do well.
Wow, even more so than Monken,
Oh, I think Monken would do much better.
Bronco, Mendenhall.
So the
Honk,
problem
honk.
with
Let's
Jeff
ride.
Monken that I have isn't that I think he could come here and win 7-8 games.
Yeah.
The problem I have is you're hiring him and you wouldn't run his triple option offense. What are you hiring him based on? Like, so
That's a good question.
It seems really it's like when someone gets in a relationship and they already know this guy has a really bad fault to him, but it's like, well, we can just sort of ignore that or change that or whatever. Or, like there's this really great feature to a car and you buy the car because you like this feature, but then it immediately doesn't work. Do you still like the car? It's
Then
like,
the car catches on fire.
the feature for him is the option.
yeah, well, that's the idea. Like when we're talking about what he did with Oklahoma and Wisconsin and these non-conference
I got
games.
this new HD TV, but I'm going to hook it up with coax.
Yeah, I'm
cables.
going to watch standard depth.
Yeah, that's what he would be if he comes without the
I just
option.
like it because it's flat against the wall.
It doesn't take up
Not
as much
because
space.
the picture's clear.
That'd be awesome. I would love to know the guy who buys the TV.
That's the
for
concept
that
to
reason.
me. Because if you're like, well, he's going to marry new age spread technique with old triple option, like
Cool.
there's a guy doing that named Jamie Chadwell.
Yeah, that's what I think. If you're going to do that, if that's like the bit that you're going to do,
Right.
why not bring in that guy?
That's my issue with Monken. Like my thing is if Nebraska's hiring Monken, if they're hiring Monken,
We're going to just go down this road.
Hunk
then
for Monk.
I would rather they do the triple option because I don't want a coach who spent all these years doing it one way.
Yeah.
It'd be like hiring Mike Leach and be like, all right, run the ball.
What about Matt Campbell? Would that be whelming?
Oh, that's a good one, Nick.
I would be whelmed. Others would be underwhelmed.
His record this year, I think, would be underwhelming for people, but I think he is a very whelming hire.
Yeah.
Couple texts to 402-951-1620. Rick says, question, Josh. So is Urban a candidate or not?
No.
2 weeks ago, you and John were making fun of people bringing up Urban's name, but you still hear media bringing up his name. Who brings up Urban Meyer unless, again, they are doing a bit? Urban Meyer is not a candidate for the Nebraska
If
job.
he's referring to us talking about him here, I made the joke that he was at Millard's Lumber because I saw it was a truth or tweet. It was a tweet.
Truth or tweet.
It's not truth. He
I
was
thought
not
you
at
said
Millard's
truth
Lumber
or
in
tweet.
Waverly.
Yeah, he's not a candidate. If anyone's, I haven't seen any media people bringing up his name except for like Kugler and Severe keep like tweeting about like how good he would do in the Big Ten West. But I mean, they're just having a good time. They're having
Right.
a jolly time on the Twitter machine.
Urban
No.
has not been a candidate for this job at any point.
No, yeah. Somebody made a wager with me and said if he gets hired, because this person is hearing that Urban's going to be the next head coach, he can sit it on the radio show for 15 minutes. I didn't even consult with John. I said, sure, sounds great. And then so if he loses, when he loses, he's going to have to give money to one of my charities.
Unless he gets hired as a special advisor
and then
to
crap.
Jeff Monken's power spread option.
the high def television that you don't even use for HD. Michael texts in, why isn't Hugh Freeze ever mentioned?
I don't think there's a fit between Trev Alberts and Hugh Freeze. Some of it for me, like there's certain coaches that I'm
Be a
skeptical
cold
of,
relationship.
and it's because
Damn it, Nick.
I think the relationship between the AD and the coach has to work if the AD is going to hire the coach.
Mhm.
And I don't know that Trev Alberts is the kind of guy that's going to go hire Hugh Freeze with everything that's happened for Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
Frankly, I think Hugh Freeze is at the place where he should probably be until he becomes an SEC retread option, which could be as recently as when Ole Miss opens.
I was going to say, wow, that'd be interesting if he goes back to Ole Miss.
I mean, it would be Bobby Petrino's.
Yeah. I kind of want him to go back to, or want him to go to Auburn. Like that, I think would just be hilarious.
Okay.
Super high ceiling, super low floor.
We're
Very
into
fun.
this.
Yeah.
What do you make of the Lane Kiffin stuff?
I don't know, because
does he look like a jackass if he ends up at Auburn?
Huge jackass. I would say this would be the worst of any coach denial that we have ever seen. If he reneged on it, This would be worse than what Saban did.
Yeah.
This would obviously, Lincoln Riley last year said he wasn't going to LSU and he told the truth. This would be pretty bad. Because, he's called out the dude.
Of Mel Tucker telling people at a recruiting function that he's not going and the next
That's
day it's
pretty
announced?
bad. Now, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But this would be up. This would be an all-timer. This would be an all-timer.
I like Lane Kiffin a lot. I like the way that he keeps programs that probably shouldn't really be on the radar.
Yeah.
Florida Atlantic, now Ole Miss.
Yep.
Him
and Auburn.
I don't mind like him trying to debunk whatever happened.
But then he kept going after.
But if you're gonna do this, he can't. Like if he leaves for Auburn, I guess if he leaves for somewhere else, maybe it's different. But
yeah,
if he leaves for Auburn after all of that, like
gonna be a tough look.
It would make me feel poorly about Lane Kiffin.
All of the concerns about his maturity level, I think. Look, you can still have them right now, but they really return if he ends up leaving. It's like, oh, so you did all of that and then you still left? It's just this would be it'd be a bad move. I think he's a really good coach. I'm with you. Like what he has done at the last two schools, especially, I think is really impressive. I think that he has matured. I think he has gotten better. And look, Auburn's a crazy place. I'd rather be at Auburn than Ole Miss. Ole Miss hasn't won a conference championship since the 60s. Auburn won a national championship, 12 years ago. It's a better school. It's in a tougher state, but it's a better school.
This is my favorite discussion I have with you every year around this time is when we take random jobs and decide which ones we like more.
USC.
Because I had Auburn higher than LSU.
Yeah, no way.
When we were talking about this last year.
No way. LSU's
I
way
still
better
sort
job.
of feel that could be true because I just think that Auburn has a better chance of sustained success at a national title level.
Interesting.
LSU always is going to feel like the perfect stuff lined up for them.
Yeah.
And then they're just going to go back to 8 wins.
I was just thinking and look, Gene Chizik is going to be the counter argument, but Les Miles and Ed Orgeron won national titles. Like if those guys can win a natty, like that job is great.
Gene Chizik and Gus Malzahn.
See,
who was there in Tommy Tuberville?
Tommy Tuberville.
Like
Senator Tommy Tuberville to you.
Senator.
Amazing Danny says, yeah, that going back to what you said about Jeff Monken. Yeah, that'd be like hiring Mark Whipple as your offensive coordinator and expect him to run the ball. Yeah, some people did think that. Oh, he's going to come in and run the ball. But why? But why?
You're going to blend styles.
Fire off the ball. Still triggered. I wasted so many hours in the offseason trying to just argue with people that he was actually not going to be a very good offensive coordinator. A text from the 402. It's clear that there are only 4 candidates for this job. Saban, Dabo, Kirby Smart, and Ryan Day. I don't know, man.
Okay, of those 4, who would you want?
Of those 4, Kirby, easily. I have totally changed my tune on Kirby Smart.
I was very
is a recruiting machine.
Harsh on Kirby Smart. And a lot of it stemmed from stuff that still is happening behind the scenes at Georgia.
Oh.
They've just amassed so much talent that they're able to survive it.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think he's a particularly good in-game coach.
Yep.
Like I kept waiting for the stupid Kirby Smart stuff in the championship game last year, and I think he was trying to do it.
And they still won by double digits.
Just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Our coach might not be that great. We're going to make him look great.
Saban's too old. Dabo, I think he's fallen
Dabo I
off.
would never want to cover. He's so disingenuous. He's
Yeah.
the most disingenuous head coach in America.
And look, John and I always have a fun debate with Ryan Day. I think Ryan Day is a really good coach, but he is also one more loss away against Michigan from like that fan base losing their minds about. And I think he's really good, but I don't know.
One more loss.
If they
to
lose,
Michigan?
if they lose on Saturday,
So how many times has he lost to him?
This would be 2.
And how many times has he played him?
This is the 3rd time
This is only the 3rd
because they didn't play in the COVID year.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that spared.
That place is psychotic. Like, just wait. If they lose, it's going to be pretty funny because people are going to be like, should Ryan Day get fired? Like, that's going to be a question that people pose. Go blue.
I don't think so.
People will pose it.
Well, 1, I don't think they're going to lose. And 2,
maybe. I
I don't think Ryan Day is going to get fired.
I
think
don't either.
You're weirdly out on Ryan Day.
Maybe.
You have been for 2 years. You're like kind of circling. You're ready to basically like puff your chest out at this guy with his .833 win percentage.
He
You
hasn't
were
won
out on
enough.
Ryan Day when they had the best team in the country and they fluked into a loss.
They
against
lost. They
Clemson.
lost to Clemson. They lost to
the
York.
worst officiating possible. Taking a turnover off the board and just horrible stuff.
I won that Clemson bet. Man, that was a great night.
I'm still
I
mad
was
about
dunking
that.
on everybody.
I've lost a lot of
Connor
bets in my
Happer and
life.
me. We were the ones who took Clemson.
Idiots.
We were smart.
When 2 idiots do something
Positive
completely
boys.
dumb and it works out.
I will say this in hindsight, and John Bishop's going to join us in just a moment. In hindsight, man, LSU versus Ohio State would have been a way better game. Way better game. I felt that like the
That
following
Ohio
Monday.
State team was so good.
They were so good. And that's what happens when you have Ryan Day. You lose. You lose to lesser Clemson teams. All right, when we return, this is great because John's going to join us. I see him in the green room right now. He's listening to this. So we'll have some more fun with Ryan Day. We'll ask him how much he misses not talking about the coaching
I like
search.
when John's not on the show, he still tries to make sure that he's on,
Yeah, still AM radio.
He's just hanging out in the green
Yeah,
room.
he's just chilling. And I see it's sunny and all sorts of stuff. He's probably wearing shorts right now, Hawaiian shirt. I hate that guy. Just kidding. Don't hate that guy. John's going to join us when we return here on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everyone, Josh Peterson for my friends at Kugler Vision. If you are going to a variety of sporting events, sometimes you'll have great seats. Sometimes you'll be sitting near the top. I know when my dear friend Mike Schaefer goes to sporting events, especially ones at a football stadium about an hour down the road, he is sitting quite a few floors up. And if Schaef was there and he was struggling with his vision, the thing that I would tell him to do, give my friends at Kugler Vision a call at 402-558-2211 or go to their website, kuglervision.com. Schedule a consultation. I say, Mike Schaefer, schedule a consultation. I don't want you to be up there and not be able to tell which quarterback is out there for Nebraska, which corner is picking off the ball. Well, they don't really get interceptions, but you know what I'm trying to say. You need to be able to, Hartsock got one. You need to be able to see as clearly as possible, whether you're up in the press box, down on the field, or in the third row hanging out with Bill Moose. That's why you give him a call at 402-558-2211 or you schedule the consultation online today at kuglervision.com.
Hey, you can help a child in need experience the joy of opening a gift this Christmas morning. You can join 1620 The Zone. We're back again to stuff the truck to benefit Toys for Tots.
Friday, December 2nd from 10 till 6 and Saturday, December 3rd from 11 till 4 at the Zone Studio parking lot just off 50th and Dodge.
Help those in need this holiday season by donating a new unwrapped toy. All the info is at 1620thezone.com.
It's Stuff the Truck to benefit Toys for Tots with J-Tech Construction and Solar and 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Very pleasant late this afternoon with the temperatures in the upper 50s to near 60. Clear to partly cloudy skies tonight. Lows drop back in the low and mid-20s, and then mostly sunny to partly cloudy on Wednesday. Still very nice. Highs in the mid-50s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ramby from KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center, we've got slowdowns all the way down West Center Road from 204th Street all the way to 120th Street, as well as slowdowns along Dodge from 72nd all the way to 90th Street. Remember to prep that green bean casserole and buckle those seatbelts. I'm Dan Campanen.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Bling in the holidays with Saul's. All jewelry in stock up to 50% off. All sterling jewelry up to 70% off. Watches starting at $19. Diamond earrings starting at $39. Bling in the holidays with up to 50% off jewelry at Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power and savings with style. Not to mention top tech to help keep you connected. Plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. With a hybrid or electric vehicle built for every driver. Seriously, dear gas prices? Do you really think you can stand in our way? Think again. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
See your independently owned Omaha Metro Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Malarkey shingles are durable, high performance, impact resistant, and beautiful. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is a certified Malarkey shingle residential contractor. For a free estimate, call Carp's Complete Exteriors or visit carpsomaha.com.
Do you hear what we hear? Omaha Steaks has tons of jobs and hours. Right now, we're hiring for a variety of seasonal positions in our warehouses. Plus, all positions come with a great employee discount on food you can use all year long. To view available job openings and to apply online, go to omahasteaks.com/jobs or text STEAKS to 22633 to apply today. This holiday season, dash through the dough and earn extra cash working at Omaha Steaks.
I know my mom does everything she can, but most days we still don't have enough to eat.
Thousands of children in Nebraska and western Iowa face food insecurity. Visit foodbankheartland.org to donate and help nourish hungry families.
This is Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center. We have run our business for years by helping the vehicle owner retain the value of their vehicle by working for them with warranted, safe, high-standard repairs. For this reason, Omaha vehicle owners have chosen Dingman's to repair their vehicles. Your loyalty has been shown through repeat business and amazing referrals. You've also voted us first place Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. We want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and our incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Are you that relative who's always asked to bring plates and napkins to the family dinner? Bring brews instead, especially quality, locally brewed Nebraska beers and ciders. The Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild wants you to know that local brewers are working on special seasonal beverages to make your holiday family get-togethers a day full of fun, football, and feasting. Lots and lots of feasting. Plus, you'll never be asked to bring plates and napkins again, especially if your goofy cousin from Iowa brings that state's favorite beer. Cheers.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
This is unsportsmanlike conduct.
Old creepy guy.
The 1620. The Zone.
Welcome back. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct here on 1620 The Zone. Alongside Mike Schaefer, I'm Josh Peterson. Nick Grimm producing as he always does. And now we go to Maui, fresh off of a 76-65 Creighton victory over Texas Tech. It is John Bishop, and yes, you can see Maui behind him. Look at how nice it is. Hi, John. How are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Doing well.
Shorts weather in Hawaii these days.
There's my bare feet.
No, don't show us your feet.
What are you doing?
Absolutely disgusting. Do you miss talking coaching search every waking minute?
Hell no, because I was on. I wasn't on. I was listening to you guys yesterday while the second game was going on when you and Schaef and Jack were talking about Bronco Mendenhall. And you know what? We're not talking about on the islands. Bronco Mendenhall.
I mean, you could change that on today's broadcast if you wanted to.
Hell no. This is great. I mean, this is the best vacation ever because I don't have to talk about something that we've been talking about for 72 days.
Yep.
Got great basketball, got great weather. I mean, and teams are winning. There's a thing called winning where if a team scores more than the other team, they win games. It's kind of refreshing.
What how often do you get out and watch other teams in these events? Like every year you have the opportunity to kind of go to these tournaments. Like, do you feel compelled to go watch some of these games that are happening like in the event, or do you just kind of just stick with what Creighton's got going on?
Well, it's a lot of it's dependent on when you vacation with your wife. Go ahead, Josh. Thank you.
My wife.
You have other obligations. I did stay and watch the Arkansas game yesterday. But then, you come back and we can watch it on TV. We can watch some of the other games, but there were some other things going on. I mean, if it was a little more closer to here, you could probably walk over and watch, but I tend to just follow Creighton and then whatever their next possible opponent is. So, it's part of this is work, but it's still some vacation too.
John, looking back at yesterday's win over Texas Tech, last week after Creighton beat Nebraska in women's hoops, one of the things that we talked about the next day was that Nebraska just had not seen any good competition in the first two games, and maybe the speed caught up with them, a little bit, and they fell behind, and they were never able to catch back up. I wonder if you think the slow start, and certainly they didn't fall behind like Nebraska women's basketball did last week. But I wonder if you think that slow start was them maybe just adjusting to a more physical team, a faster team, a better team than they had seen in the first four games before they were able to get things going in the second half.
Oh, and there's no question that there's a level of adjustment anytime you play a team like Texas Tech. The difference between this year and yesterday versus last year when they faced Iowa State, who plays a similar defensive scheme and was kind of built somewhat similarly, though they weren't quite as good offensively as Tech was. That team struggled. I mean, they had 21 turnovers in that game. And yesterday, you had 4 turnovers on the first 4 possessions, but the first 2 of them were unforced. So it just kind of felt like, it could have been a combination of a lot of things. The time change is a little different. Getting your body clock readjusted, playing the first game, then playing a team that can speed you up like Texas Tech. But I thought the critical factor yesterday was, despite the fact that Creighton had 13 turnovers, they still led most of the first half and were tied at halftime. So if they just cleaned it up a little bit, they would be in good shape. They cleaned it up a lot. They didn't turn it over once in the second half, and it looked like a totally different game. So, the Jays, unlike last year's team, is built, they can make more shots. Baylor Shireman had those 3 big threes in the first half. I thought Ryan Nembhard played his best game of the year offensively. And so, I think what you saw yesterday was the difference in experience. One more year of experience versus where this team was exactly 1 year ago. It's a full season of basketball, and they've gone through so much. Big East schedule, Big East tournament, NCAA tournament. It was in a way, it might have been more surprising if they would have continued to struggle in the second half. I didn't think they'd be this good in the second half, not turning it over at all.
Yeah.
But I did expect them that they would improve, and they did.
5 games in, you're looking at this Creighton team. What's kind of the unsung part of it? Like, what's the part that, has a lot of value, but maybe doesn't get the discussion in the same way that the key parts of their team would?
I'd say defense. It's not, at least statistically yet, it's not as good defensively as last year's team ended up being. But yesterday, second half, Texas Tech, their best run in the second half was 4 points. They only had 1 series where they scored on back-to-back possessions without Creighton getting a bucket in between. And the defense really kind of turned things around. And that was one of the things I was looking at in yesterday's game. There was so much talk about how is Tech going to be able to slow down Creighton's offense? But I always like to look at the flip side of the matchup. How is Texas Tech going to score on Creighton's defense? And in the first half, they had some success. And I know their big man, had Bacho had 17 yesterday and was pretty efficient. But for the most part, the guards, the smaller players, had to try to finish over Kalkbrenner, and that was really tough to do. I think defensively, while it – and who knows where it's going to develop from here, but I don't think they've dropped off much from where they ended up last season. And that's really what's going to carry this team. I mean, if they're going to make the kind of run that some people expect them to, the defense has to be at a level at least close to, if not better, than last year's was. And they're already off to a fairly good start. Now, today's going to be a real interesting test because Arkansas built similarly to Texas Tech, but they got a lot more shot makers.
John Bishop joining us live from Maui. Let's talk about the game later tonight. Tip's going to come after 7, assuming that all the other games are on schedule. Pregame will begin with Ravi Lula at 6 o'clock. John will have pregame live from the arena at 6:30. Toughest thing that you see about this Arkansas squad, and I wonder where you think Creighton could maybe find a weakness.
Weakness, we'll start with that. Weakness is inexperience. Now, Eric Musselman brought in the number 2 overall recruiting class. They brought in 3 guys who already are getting looks at the NBA level next year, but one of them is not going to play tonight. In fact, it's the top player in their recruiting class, Nick Smith, the number 1 rated point guard in America last year out of Jacksonville, Arkansas. He hasn't played this season and is not expected to play for at least a little while longer, but they still got a couple other guys who are getting top 30, top 15 NBA type analysis in the early mocks. Anthony Black, who had a career high 26 yesterday, and Jordan Walsh. And they're both built kind of similar, about 6'6", 6'7", between 205 and 215, very athletic. This is a very long athletic team. They are going to challenge you at the rim. They've got they've got 6 guys with 7-foot wingspans. They turn you over at a higher rate than Texas Tech does. Now, as far as the defensive schemes, it's not identical. It's not 100% identical, but there's some similarities there. So that's going to be a challenge for the Jays. But then, like I said, Texas Tech, it doesn't have as many shooters as Arkansas does. Now, I say that Arkansas hasn't taken many threes this year. They've taken less than 30% of their field goal attempts are threes. They're only averaging about 5 made threes a game. But I think a lot of that's because their athleticism and size gets them to the rim, so they get a lot of short twos. And so I'll be curious to see if the Jays try to selectively make a couple of guys outside shooters and take their chances. Sometimes that's what Creighton likes to do, but make no mistake, Black and Ricky Council, a transfer from Wichita State, who is their leading scorer, they can still shoot the three. So it's going to be an interesting cat and mouse to see how the Jays defend this one. But Arkansas is every bit as good, even though there's been a lot of turnover from the last 2 years when they went to the Elite Eight. Again, number 2 overall recruiting class, and you bring in a transfer like Ricky Council, who was a really good player in the AAC last year. It's still a very, very good team.
John, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sure feels like Kalkbrenner is the X factor tonight. I mean, he's by far the biggest player that's going to be on the court. You got an Arkansas team that plays small with 4 guards and a forward to start with. They've got a big that comes off the bench. That's probably their sort of inside presence. But it feels like on both ends, Creighton's really going to be able to have the opportunity to maybe try to dump it into Kalkbrenner, and then you're going to need his rim protection.
Absolutely. No, you're exactly right, Schaef. And the good news is it sounds like Kalkbrenner's going to be okay. He rolled his ankle twice yesterday, once late in the first half and once towards the end of the game. But it sounds like he's going to be okay. We'll get the official update from Mac here in about an hour and a half or so. But I would anticipate he's going to play. But even with that said, you're right, because, even though Bacho, their big man yesterday, was able to get 17, anyone trying to finish inside had to really go high off the glass. And that's really what Creighton wants to do. They just want to funnel the action down there. And it's going to be up to some of these shot creators like Anthony Black and others to find ways around Ryan Kalkbrenner. But you're right. He's the linchpin to the whole defensive effort. I mean, he's the defensive player of the year in the Big East from last year for a reason. And even though he doesn't have as many blocks as he probably did at this time last year, he's altering so many shots. So you're absolutely right. He may not be the X factor. He may be the factor by the time all is said and done.
Before I let you go, John, 1.5 point favorite are the Jays. Think that's a solid line for this one?
It's funny. I just looked at a different line and they had Arkansas by 2.5. So again, and then maybe that didn't update. It's not surprising. I think one thing tonight that hopefully will work in Creighton's favor is experience, because obviously their entire lineup is basically back, and you bring in Baylor Shireman, who's a 5th-year senior, versus guys, you're playing a lot of guys who are still new together, and this will be their first real test of the season. Louisville, who got smoked again today by Texas Tech, is not a good basketball team. No. So Arkansas really has not been pushed this year, and I think that's going to be one of the keys tonight is how does Arkansas and this new group come together during times of turmoil? How are they going to be able to handle pressure if this is a close game down the stretch? Arkansas has been really good this year, but I think Creighton has an advantage in the sense that they're a little more battle tested at this point than the Razorbacks.
He is John Bishop. He'll be on the call. He'll have pregame live from the arena at 6:30. Tip coming after 7 o'clock. Ravi also with some pregame coverage an hour and a half from now at 6 o'clock. John, thanks for not showing us your feet anymore once the interview got going. I hope you have a lovely time, but just remember, in a few more days, you're going to be talking about Bronco Mendenhall some more.
It's up to you, Trev Alberts. Make the announcement Friday afternoon at about 7 o'clock. Please do it for me. Do it for America so that we don't have to work this weekend.
Or just wait till Monday.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about the announcement leaking. The announcement, he can do the press conference on Monday, but make sure that all the news breaks on Friday.
The guy in Hawaii is whining about having to work on a weekend.
It's been 72 days.
It's been a long time.
I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
And I know you guys are tired of this.
Yeah, indeed. John, have a great call tonight. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, boys.
All right. That is John Bishop live from Hawaii.
I have no sympathy at all. If you
None?
come in on a Saturday or a Sunday and you got to work,
Yeah.
because I'm going to be working either way. And
Yeah.
it's just, it won't stop. Like
Monday,
even after it's announced,
Monday,
it won't
Monday,
stop.
Monday, Monday.
Oh, Monkin on Monday.
Honk, honk. Monday.
Cyber Monkin.
Because you know what?
Cyber Monkin.
They hire Monkin. We could be like, oh man, someone has a case of the Mondays.
Oh,
and then Husker fans will always have a case of the Mondays because Jeff Monkin is their new head coach.
Well, that could be a concept. Cyber Monkin. It's not actually Jeff Monkin. It's just like a robot version of him.
It just sets up for a bunch of Trev Alberts went shopping on Cyber Monday and ended up with Jeff Monkin.
Yeah.
Jokes.
Speaking of the option, a text message from Pedro coming in says, "Hey Josh, Connor, and Ravi." Don't know why he doesn't recognize you, Mike Schaefer. I cannot believe how much you guys
I don't
hate.
think I sound like any of those.
I cannot believe how much you guys hate option football.
I don't hate it. I would be fine. Like if
here I got more to read.
All right, sorry.
Mickey told you guys how to play the Big Ten. You play middle of the field and to the edges. That is option football. That is the one style that Nebraska has not used in the Big Ten. Nebraska has tried pro style, Oregon fast style, and whatever the hell style Pelini ran. Nice. The option works. I don't normally curse people out, but I'm going to call you guys the worst thing I can. You boys are Steve Peterson. Sorry, guys. I hated to do that, but you guys deserved it. Go Troy Calhoun. Thanks. Option football, Schaef?
I'm fine with it. I don't know that Nebraska needs to do it to be successful. I think that they can run versions of it or have concepts of it in their offense, and it's fine. But I don't know that you need to have the triple option be a staple of what you're doing to have success. I mean, whatever the hell offense Bo Pelini ran averaged close to 30 points a game in Big Ten play, which Nebraska has been nowhere near under.
They were
Scott
pretty good
Frost.
at offense.
Yeah. Offense was not their issue. Bringing a safety from the too high safety look down into the box against power running teams, that was more of an issue.
Man.
Recruiting defensive linemen, issue.
Even though they had a guy who went to the Heisman Trophy ceremony.
Yeah.
He was
Well,
a
they-
defensive lineman.
They didn't recruit him. So
that's true.
Probably every recruit was like, what do you actually know?
And the answer, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Here come the Bo Pelini stands. You can help a child in need experience the joy of opening a gift on Christmas morning. Join 1620 The Zone and JTech Solar and Construction as we stuff the truck coming up next Friday, the 2nd, and Saturday, the 3rd, right here at 5011 Capitol Avenue, 50th and Dodge. Essentially help those in need this holiday season by donating a new unwrapped toy. Stuff the truck to benefit Toys for Tots with JTech Solar and Construction and 1620 The Zone. Schaef, we have so many things to get to. We haven't done our NFL power rankings. We have our college football hot take market, if we're going to have time for that. A lot more coaching discussion. Who knows what else we'll get to? Who knows? Unsportsmanlike content, a.k.a. the artist formerly known as What Do You Say, Good Sir?
Man,
Bronco Mendenhall?
Those were the days.
Mike Riley?
What about Mike Riley?
I'm just thinking of those were the days.
That every
he's the
those weren't
boogeyman
really the days.
2.0. Every coach, Mike Riley 2.0. We'll talk about 2.0s.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, and more. He's Mike Schaefer. I'm Josh Peterson. He is Nick Grimm. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on this Tuesday on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone's 4-quarter pick'em returns. It's your chance to win $1,620. All you have to do is correctly pick 4 college or NFL games against the spread. Listen to qualify every weekday or enter online at 1620thezone.com. One lucky listener will be selected each week to make their picks live on air.
Awesome.
Go to 1620thezone.com for complete rules and contest details. It's 4-quarter pick'em with 1620 The Zone.
Creighton Sports Update.
The 2022 Big East Volleyball Championship gets underway this Wednesday at DJ Sokol Arena as the top 6 teams in the Big East compete for a title. Quarterfinal action starts on Wednesday at 1 and 4 p.m. with your Blue Jays playing Friday night at 7 p.m. For more information and tickets, visit gocreighton.com/tickets.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Hey, Omaha Metro, the Salvation Army's Red Kettles are popping up all over town, and that means Ringer Rewards is back. Here's how it works. Volunteer to ring the bell at any one of our Red Kettles, and you'll get a chance to win hundreds of dollars in prizes from local stores. Imagine, if you ring for just a single 2-hour shift, you could win hundreds of dollars in groceries, store memberships, and more. Remember, the more you ring, the more chances you get to win. Sign up now at registertoring.com. That's registertoring.com.
The holidays are here. This holiday season, we encourage you to come support our local stores in Omaha. And Westwood Plaza has everything you need to find that perfect gift. Krypton Comics is a privately owned comic and hobby store. Located in Omaha for the past 30 years, Krypton has become the largest comic book store in the area. They offer a giant selection of collectibles like new comics, clothing, vintage toys, and more. If you can't find what you're looking for in the store, they'll do their best to track it down. Come in and see them on 125th and Center inside Westwood Plaza. Mind Meld Escape Room in Omaha has been locally owned and operated since it opened in 2019. Mind Meld Escape Rooms cater to everyone's preference, from alien enthusiasts, part-time paleontologists, grammar police, to amateur surgeons. They know everyone likes to have a good time once in a while, so why not let them help? Visit Mind Meld Escape Room on 125th and Center inside Westwood Plaza and explore this fun-filled venue today. Everything you need to shop locally for the holidays is at Westwood Plaza in Omaha.
From basketball to volleyball, baseball to softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more, the Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
At the United States Postal Service, we're here to deliver fast and reliable service to help you get holiday ready. We offer free package pickup and deliver free shipping supplies to your address. So whether you're in Garland, Texas, Rudolph, Wisconsin, or anywhere in between, we're making it easier for you to spread festive cheer this holiday season. USPS, delivering for America. For all your holiday needs, including info about free shipping supplies, free package pickup availability, and restrictions, go to USPS.com/holidays.
Your Omaha Maverick volleyball team is the #2 seed in the Summit League volleyball tournament, and they'll play the winner of North Dakota and North Dakota State this Friday at 7 p.m. at Baxter Arena. If they win, they'll play in the finals this Saturday at 2. Let's pack the Baxter. Get your Summit League volleyball tournament tickets now at the Baxter Arena box office at 67th and Center or at omavs.com/tics. We'll see you at the Baxter Friday at 7 p.m.
1620 The Zone at 1620thezone.com. 1620 The Zone's unsportsmanlike conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Josh Peterson and Mike Schaefer with you on this Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. Mike Schaefer of Husker 24/7 Sports. Go there, read about the coaching search, read about Nebraska and Iowa. It is a football game that's being played.
It's true. There's a game.
It's football.
They'll be covering it. It is indeed football. We'll have predictions and all that good stuff coming up on the show tomorrow ahead of the game because we will be off on Thursday and Friday. Do you want to do our power rankings for the NFL?
Yeah.
Power rankings for the NFL.
Is it just we're doing 5?
Yeah, I figure we just do a top 5.
That's fine.
I feel like the number 1 is pretty easy right now. And it's the team that A lot of us didn't have number 1 when the season started. No, it's not the Dolphins, Nick. It's the Kansas City Chiefs.
You're no fun.
I agree.
Right? Like it just that performance by Mahomes. They were get plus odds when he got the ball back at the end of the game when they were down. Like, why didn't all of us pay our mortgages with that?
Well, because
so
the state
obvious.
of Nebraska doesn't have
That's
online
true.
gambling.
Promo code 1620 over in Iowa, though.
You can't live bet when you can't do mobile betting, and
Yeah.
you can't even sports bet yet, really.
Yeah, even though we voted on that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember the election in 2020?
Yeah, it's it makes you wonder.
Yeah,
but,
people forget. They're really good. Mahomes really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I would put the Chiefs 1. We agree.
Who do you have number 2?
Number 2, I'm gonna leave the Buffalo Bills at number 2. Still, they're 7-3.
Yep.
And here's what I ask myself:
sad.
Like, would I rather play Team 3 or the Buffalo Bills? I would rather play Team 3. Like, there's only one team that I would rather play the Buffalo Bills more than so it's like the Chiefs would be 1 and the Bills would be 2. Like,
And Team 3, I imagine, for you is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
So basically what you were saying is if you as a Vikings fan, even though you beat the Bills, and you lost to the Eagles. So that's pretty interesting.
But it's not about the Vikings.
I know.
It's about, like, who is the best team in the NFL? The Chiefs.
Yeah.
Who is the next best team in the NFL?
The Bills. Yeah.
I would take the Bills over the Eagles every single time.
So I put the Eagles number 2.
Why?
Because part of this, I did want to reward regulars. I wanted to reward the success and or failures of the season to this point. And look, I'm with you, man. I think that the Bills are.
So you've already admitted that your rankings aren't accurate to how you feel about it?
No, I mean, when you say it that way, it's just like, why? So I come back to this a lot.
So you're caving to the pressure of the record?
Maybe my girlfriend. Why do we watch the games and why? I mean, for example, the Bills beat the Chiefs. So why don't we have the Bills number 1? They went on the road and beat the Chiefs. So why don't we have them number 1?
Well, I think the important thing is that 1 week
they're
in
not
the
playing very
NFL
well
is
right
not. Like, I don't use 1 week in the NFL to justify.
No, neither do I.
Any of it.
The Bills are not playing at this point in time. They're not playing as well as they were a few weeks ago, and their quarterback's hurt.
And I do think, and so you told me about this exercise, and the very first thing that I did was I Googled the Week 11 standings for 2021.
Oh, what did you learn?
I learned that the Bills were 6-4 at that time.
Yeah, they'd had some weird ass losses.
And someone else was winning the division, and that someone else was the
Patriots.
And they were 7-3.
Yep.
And I thought to myself, if I was doing a power rankings of the 2021 teams in the month of November, I probably wouldn't have the Bills in my top 5. And yet, if you would have asked me at the end of the year,
I thought they were the best team in football.
and if you would have asked me in the middle of the year, I would have said the Bills. So they're like, teams go through these stretches where they're not going to look as good, because there was even the point of time where we didn't think the Chiefs were the best team in the AFC because they lost to the aforementioned Bills. And we had questions about whether they would have wide receivers that would pop up that could replace what Tyreek Hill did.
And
the answer is no, but it doesn't matter, because for some reason, when everyone in the building knows that you're going to throw to Travis Kelce, he's still in single coverage.
Yeah, and you still have the best quarterback in football. It's incredible.
Yeah, so
you're basically convincing me that I should alter my rankings, but I don't think I'm going to.
You do whatever you're going to do. I'm just explaining why it goes Chiefs 1, Bills 2.
I think you made a sound argument. You made a very sound argument. I guess I do want to reward regular season success a little bit, but let's just say this: the Eagles are certainly teetering, and I am looking ahead to that Christmas Eve matchup.
There's a lot of high flying Cowboys fans right now that just need to be reminded that they blew a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter to a team.
All right, why are you doing this?
Lost on a Thursday night at home to the Titans.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers
sad
owns.
I just went on a preemptive strike when your team beat mine 40-3, and you hadn't said anything yet.
Yeah, what's going on?
But now I've got you reeling on your heels.
No.
I
got some stuff for you.
I know how to do this.
Who do you have number 4?
This is just professional.
Do you have the Dallas Cowboys number 4?
I have no.
Whoa.
I have the Vikings at number 4.
What a homer.
Yeah, good.
Can you believe this
They
homer,
just lost
Josh?
by 37. They have a negative point differential.
To the
Get
Cowboys. They lost to the
Get outta
Cowboys.
here.
What am I like? What's wrong with it?
How
No, they're
embarrassing
good.
is that?
I actually have them outside of my.
They had a really bad Sunday.
I have them outside of my top 5.
And it didn't go.
It didn't go very well. Yep. It went how I wanted though.
It was a bad Sunday, like a horribly bad Sunday.
Very bad.
I still think that they are a good football team. I'd still put them over Dallas. I still would trust them over Dallas. They had
Even
a horrible
though they
start.
were home dogs and they lost.
Yeah.
Wow, by a lot.
They lost by 37 points.
You know, it was Dallas' biggest road win of all time. Literally of all time, it was their biggest home or road win of all time.
It's just one of those days.
Wow, that is not. I did not expect the Vikings to show up in your top
I don't.
five.
So,
can I ask you a serious question about Kirk Cousins? You and I have said many things over the years about, or we've talked about Kirk Cousins and how he is perceived and how he isn't perceived. Do you worry at all? Not forget about the primetime Kirk stuff, which I imagine is going to be a discussion point in 2 days. But him getting hit early like he did and how his eyes were then down at the line instead of up at the receivers. Like, that's a valid concern, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard because it's an offensive line that, first of all, when you can't protect against 4, when Dallas is able to just get pressure with 4, it makes a lot of issues because then you can protect with 5, or you have to start adding to that.
Yeah.
And then you already are going against 7.
Yep.
So you're losing the numbers battle because you
Correct.
have 5 on your line.
Immediately you're losing
and
the
you have a
numbers battle.
quarterback. So you're already down big when they can just rush with 4.
Yeah.
That's why the best teams in the NFL generally can get pressure with 4.
With 4 guys.
And why really good quarterbacks win against the blitz all the time.
Yep.
So when they were able to do that early in the game and Minnesota just could not hold up. And it wasn't just when Christian Darrisaw went out.
Yeah.
It wasn't just Garrett Bradbury. It was the entire offensive line. And you don't know if that's just they had a really bad day. Dallas saw something and now Minnesota has to then adjust to it.
Yeah.
I give probably more grace than I should. Like, this is a coaching staff that is relatively new. They still have to figure out what they're doing with these teams. And I sort of have this trust that they're going to adjust to it. And I just think that I would bet if I had to bet on which team can go deeper into the playoffs, I would bet on the Cowboys combusting before the Vikings.
Interesting.
They're both probably combustible, obviously,
Because that's
given
what
their
they've
recent
usually
history.
been. Yeah, sadly.
Like the Cowboys had a really, really good Sunday. I've also seen them, like I said, blow
they
that lead against the
shot
Packers.
all over themselves.
The games that they had, against the Bucks to open the season, like they didn't look like
That
they
was
could
a
move the
disaster.
football.
Yeah.
It's
Eagles
just-
lost some tossing out, but
It's just one of those things,
So I had the Cowboys 4.
Yeah.
The thing that I like about them right now, you just mentioned the defense. I saw a stat about their offense today. So since Dak has come back in week 7, they rank first in the league in points, 3rd in yards, 3rd in rushing yards, 6th in passing yards, 11th in turnovers, 1st in 3rd down percentage, 3rd in red zone touchdown percentage, 6th in explosive plays, 5 in sacks per attempt, and 1st in points per drive. Now, part of that is built on the game against the Lions or the Bears, excuse me. That really helped. But the offense,
and then the Vikings,
and then obviously the Vikings. They're rounding into form. I love the defense though, and that in 2 of the 3 losses. Throw out the Bucks game. The losses though.
Why are we throwing these games out?
No. Well, I thought the defense played fine in the Bucks game. I'm just saying, in the other
fair.
2 losses, though, the defense did not get enough pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and they got no pressure on Jalen Hurts, and they were able to move him around. So that is a concern. In that, look, they stopped the run fine on Sunday, but they've also not stopped the run in losses to the Eagles and in losses to the Packers.
They didn't really stop the run. The Vikings just couldn't really run. I mean, when they did, they were averaging 5.1 yards a carry in the first half, and then you're down 30-3.
Yeah, right away in the second
The
half.
time you get the ball, like you're not going to run it.
That's my biggest concern about this team is that and Dak, and because he has been a roller coaster this year.
I think so. Part of it for me with the Cowboys is I think they can dominate games like we saw on Sunday when everything goes exactly to script.
They're a front running team.
When they can get out in front and they can control 3rd down like they did.
Yep.
When they can get pressure with their defensive line and I mean, Minnesota still moved the ball on that first drive.
They went right down the field. They should have scored a touchdown.
Second drive. First drive was a fumble.
Oh yeah.
So it's a situation where they can look like a juggernaut when they're in absolute control of everything.
But when they're not, they look like crap.
They look like crap. If they're playing the Eagles, trying to stop the run becomes a really big thing.
I think about the 49ers playoff game. That game they never had control over, and they were playing on their heels the entire time.
My biggest issue with the Vikings, I would hope that they saw it on film. You can stop calling play action for deep shots when you can't protect it.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, you should just keep giving the ball because Dalvin Cook was averaging like 9 yards a carry for a while there. But they kept putting Kirk in a position where these were long developing routes and there's nowhere for him to go with the ball because he's already getting hit by the time anyone's breaking into it.
Yeah.
So what are we on? So that
we're
was
on 5.
4.
So I had Cowboys 4. You had Vikings 4.
So 5th for me. You're not going to like this one at all. I can already tell. If you don't know about Minnesota 4, and I don't have Dallas in my top 5.
Yeah, bad take.
I have Tennessee.
Whoa, I have Knicks Dolphins.
Hey, I thought about the Dolphins. I thought about the Ravens. I thought about Tennessee. I did not really consider the Cowboys.
Wow.
I got to see more.
Wow.
And it's probably true with the Vikings too. But I also just their path right now with Minnesota, they get through this game against Mac Jones and the Patriots. They're looking pretty likely at a 14-win season. Like it's
the
just
Vikings
hard.
Yeah.
And
you're gonna
maybe
have
they're just going to take
maybe,
advantage of a really bad schedule.
Yeah, you're gonna have 1, maybe 2 playoff games.
Yeah. So that's part of it. And I do think you get credit for just beating the teams on your schedule in the NFL, which that's tough to do at times. The Titans, I like the way they're set up. Like I think they have
great coach.
I think they have a big sideline advantage.
Huge.
I think they generally do things on special teams to either confound other, like they're gonna.
Remember the thing they did to the Patriots in the playoff game a few years ago? That was hysterical.
I think they will find ways to, like, if you have a crack on your punt block coverage or your punt coverage, they're going to find it.
Yeah.
They're going to find a way to come through the wall and block a punt. Like they're the type of team like the mid 2000s Patriots where they're going to inexplicably make up for the fact that their offense has real deficiencies.
Yeah, they have a real big coaching advantage right now.
If they had a better quarterback,
I know.
I would vault them to probably 3rd.
It's so funny. We have a listener who is a huge Titans fan, and he's always mad because like people don't respect him enough and people find him boring. I have ceased finding them boring. I find them now inherently interesting because they find ways to win in games that I don't think that they should find ways to win those games.
What I like about them is that they are not like other NFL teams. So getting to watch them means
different.
that it's a different style of football that you don't
Scrappy.
see a lot.
I went with the Dolphins.
Scrappy is a word for it.
It's Nick. The stat is still true, right? They have not lost a game where Tua
every time Tua's played the
starts
entire
and
game,
finishes, they've still won. The thing that I like about them and why I have them 5th is that they have an offense that I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work the deeper we go. Now, it would help them immensely if they were able to pull out the division and get to host a game and not have to go up north. But when you have those 2 receivers, they can just fly down the field. It gives you a huge advantage. And I've seen Tyreek Hill do a million things over the middle for years now. And so I'm going to kind of trust that for a while. I like their head coach. They have overcome any controversy that I think might have happened after Tua returned right away. And then even I thought Schaef, he might be out till December. He's back. If they can protect him, like, again, a fun, unique, kind of different team in the NFL right now. Wow, didn't have the Cowboys in your top 5.
No, it's part of it. And I'm just, like, I watched the Vikings go toe-to-toe with the Bills and then just have a horrible day where they gave themselves no chance.
Maybe the best team in football.
So I sort of just didn't really throw the result out.
You're getting on me for throwing out results, and now you're going to throw out a result?
It's kind of that idea, though. It's like, if this cancels that out, then where are they? I still think they're probably a top 5 team.
You throw out your best result.
How far down the list do you go before you get to an NFC team that isn't in the East?
So who is in the mix? And I know we're up
would be
against it.
Minnesota or the 49ers.
Oh, Minnesota for me would be. See, I think I'd probably actually have the 49ers 6th. But that is so much built off of fear. I am frightened
excited.
of them.
I am so excited for 49ers fear mongering.
Oh, I'm there.
Let's go through the 49ers schedule.
Let's do it when we get into the 5 o'clock hour.
We got to come back.
We got to come back. We're up against it.
This is ridiculous.
I'm sorry, Schaef.
This would never happen on a podcast.
It wouldn't because we just keep talking. We'd be like, let's
all right, let's pay some bills.
Let's pause for some pretzels. All right, we'll finish up our NFL discussion. More coach stuff. Who knows what else? We only have an hour left. This is so sad.
We filibustered the first 3.
We really did.
What do we even talk about? Meat slicers?
That was like a half hour. Back after this, 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. We've got slowdowns all the way down Dodge from 72nd all the way to 90th Street, as well as an accident still in its cleanup stage at 84th Street and Harrison. We also have slow-going traffic on West Center Road from 204th Street all the way out to 120th Street. Remember to start prepping that stuffing and buckle those seatbelts. I'm Dan Campanen.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Burton AC Plumbing, Heating, and More.
Hi, I'm Mark Evans, owner of Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More. Join us in supporting Food Bank for the Heartland.
Right now, if you donate 5 cans of food, you can get a furnace safety inspection and cleaning for only $55. Request service at justcallburton.com.
Since this is a radio commercial, you can't see the people standing behind me. They're the Langfeld family. Everybody wave. Oh, sorry. You can't see them because radio. Anyway, the Langfelds are the family behind Langfeld Overhead Door, where they proudly install Midland garage doors to fit any space and style. And they don't take a backseat to anyone when it comes to their service. Because if something goes wrong, it's their name on the line. So they're going to make sure it goes right every single time. Langfeld Overhead Door, 402-234-2700.
Caller 4 right now, 402-951-1620. Qualifies for 1620 The Zone's 4-quarter pick'em. It's your chance to pick 4 football games correctly against the spread to win $1,620. Call 402-951-1620. Call now to qualify with 1620 The Zone.
Here's an opportunity for business-to-business salespeople. NRG Media is looking for someone who gets excited about helping local businesses grow. Are you an idea person who can create and execute a plan? We should talk. At NRG Media, we create local marketing campaigns designed to meet a key challenge. On air, online, on-site, audio, video. It's all part of what you could do. A sales career with NRG lets you make a real difference. Business-to-business salespeople? Apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Do you remember your favorite teacher? I sure do. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Teachers push students to do their best and help kids when they struggle. They make their classrooms welcoming and safe for all students. They create engaging lessons that help students access complex concepts and make connections. Support our public school teachers and students. Help make this the best school year yet.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We continue to grow and add new customers. Many employers are looking for new ideas for their staff as people return to the office. Our pantry service is a great office amenity for staff and guests. Fresh food, snacks, coffee, water, and other beverages for employees and guests. Enhance your office experience with pantry service from Host Coffee. Learn more at hostcoffee.net.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here from my friends at Kugler Vision. If you have money sitting in your flex plan or in your health savings account, it is time for an early holiday gift for yourself. I am talking about LASIK with my friends at Kugler Vision. Visit their website today, kuglervision.com. Let them know that you are sick of bad vision and you are ready to see if you qualify to have one of their 7 vision correction procedures. 402-558-2211 or online at kuglervision.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Gary Sharp. Join me for We Got a Podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family. We get more in depth, have a guest or two, and drop nuggets of info you haven't heard anywhere else. Join us for We Got a Podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family every Friday in the show page on 1620thezone.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
It'd be nice to have a
Throw.
It would 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 be nice to have a
Throw.
from your mom.
The happy hour is on the air.
We really need to get that mic fixed.
We do need to get this mic fixed. He's Mike Schaefer. Has the Cowboys way too low. I'm Josh Peterson.
6.
Nick Grimm is producing.
Has the Dolphins way too low.
Where would you put the Dolphins, Nick, in the power rankings?
Honestly, 4th.
4th, behind Eagles,
Yeah.
Bills, Chiefs, in some order.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Nick watches the NFL now.
He's a big sports guy now.
I've been watching football a little more.
We love it. We love it. We
used
did
to just be motocross only for Nick. And
Formula
now-
Formula One.
motocross.
I'm pretty sure it's motocross. I
I've
know
never
what I'm
cared
talking
about motocross.
Big motocross.
Except for
guy.
the Disney Channel original movie. What was that movie? You ever seen
I
that movie?
don't remember the name of it, but I know what
They
you're
weren't
talking
allowed.
about.
Girls weren't allowed to participate, and so she had to pretend that she was her brother. You never saw this movie?
No.
It was a classic.
I
It was a-
remember this movie.
Yeah, it was. I
I'm gonna
think
find
it
it.
might have been called Motocrossed.
Wow.
Yeah, good name for a movie. But we've been talking
Nick's
about
favorite sport.
a variety of things today. Sometimes we
It
talk.
is called Motocross.
Nailed it.
From 2001.
Yep, on Disney Channel.
Never forget.
I love Disney Channel original movies back then. We've talked a lot of stuff.
Not now.
Not now. No, I don't watch Disney Channel anymore. But we've talked a lot of different things today. If you've missed any of it, go check out the radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. So we're putting together our power rankings. We put together our power rankings. Mike Schaefer did not include the Dallas Cowboys in his top 5. In fact, friends, he had the Minnesota Vikings inside of his top 5. We all remember
What a
happened.
homer.
What a homer. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. But we started talking about the 49ers, and as you described it, you're excited for the 49ers fear-mongering that is ultimately going to come as we get closer to the playoffs, to which I say this: I am a part of that. I will be someone screaming from the mountaintops that we need to be worried about the San Francisco 49ers in this year's NFL playoffs, because I saw them do it last year to my very team. They scare the crap out of me. I hate them.
There's no team that feast on crappy NFL teams seemingly better.
They're really
than
good
the
at it.
49ers, and yet
They lost to the Falcons.
these
Don't
are
forget
their
about
results
that.
this year.
Yeah.
Week 1 in the monsoon, they lost to the Bears 19-10.
Bad team. And that was
I
before
don't
the
even
Bears
care
were
that it
fun.
was a bad weather game. Like, you should beat the Bears.
That was before the Bears were fun.
Week 2, they kicked the crap out of Geno Smith in the 49ers, or excuse me, in the Seahawks.
And that's why they're currently in first place in the division.
Week 3, they lose 11-10 to the Broncos.
The funniest show on television, the Denver Broncos.
Mendenhall?
Week 4, crappy team, kick the crap out of it, beat up on the Rams 24-9.
I remember that on a Monday night. Yep.
Crappy team, they get Matt Rule fired.
Oh.
37-15. I'm pretty sure this is the
Future
last game.
Nebraska football coach Matt Rule, Mike Schaefer?
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't rule it out.
Crappy team, lose by 14 to the Falcons.
I had that in my pick'ems pool. I had the 49ers. I did not cover in my pick'ems pool when I picked the 49ers. Because they lost by 14 to the Falcons.
At this point, the 49ers fans that are listening are probably like, well, we didn't have
Robbie.
Christian McCaffrey yet.
They didn't have Christian McCaffrey.
They get Christian McCaffrey, I think, during their bye week.
No, they got him ahead of the Chiefs game.
Well, when did that all? Yeah,
it happened
it
on
was
like
the
a
week
Friday
of the,
or what Thursday. He was on the field though.
And so he
against,
played in the Chiefs game.
and
They
what
got
happened in
blown
that
out.
one? Yeah.
This is, I think,
and they were 3-4 at this moment in time.
when you're picking the most thoroughly sort of convincing, like this team is just miles above the league. This version of the Chiefs,
that's the one.
Just crushed. And I think the 49ers are pretty good.
They
but
are, especially
I don't know
their
what to
defense.
do with them when you look at these results. Like,
it's very strange.
And then they kind of played around with the Chargers for that entire Sunday night game. They win 22-16.
And then they
Well,
destroyed.
they beat the Rams in there, but
Oh, no way. They beat the Rams in the regular season?
smoked them.
Yeah, who knew?
And then
Last
last night, the way that game started, it's like, are the Cardinals gonna make this another weird 49ers game? And they turn it around and they ended up dominating. But I don't know what to do with them because one, every team but the Chiefs that they played have been terrible.
Yeah.
Literally every team. There's not a these are
and the Seahawks.
The Seahawks, but it's week 2 Seahawks are a little bit probably different
Than
than
now.
when Geno kind of had got it rolling.
Fair.
And even then, I think it's still fair to have some skepticism
Yep.
of the Seahawks. I don't know what to do with this 49ers
So
team.
it's funny because my argument in favor of San Francisco and why they should scare the crap out of anyone who is in the NFC is their defense. It's the way that they play defense and just how they can kind of control a football game. And yet, I mean, you said it a second ago. That Chiefs game is why I have them number 1 right now because they smoked them.
It wasn't close.
They put so many points up on the board that day when they won 44-23. And yet I hold a special reverence for them right now just because I saw them do it to my team last year. I think that Dallas is going to play them again in the playoffs. One of my best friends is a 49ers fan. We were texting about it earlier today. It just feels like we're on a collision course again.
Well, and
I'm scared.
If we're doing this segment here at the end of the season, we're probably going to have different teams in the top 5. And the way the 49ers enter that top 5 and potentially even become the best team in the NFC, their stretch coming up. So they'll get the Saints. Not good. They should win.
Yep.
Especially Saints on the road. Like that should be a win.
The
but then it's Dolphins, Bucks, Seahawks,
Washington,
sneaky Commanders.
Wow.
Like, those are 4, and then it finishes Raiders, Cardinals.
Yeah,
whatever.
so they have 4 tough
But those
games.
4 games, if they go like 3-1 and are thoroughly dominating in that stretch,
They could be a 12-5 football team.
that feels like the team that nobody wants to play in the NFC.
Correct. Because right now they're on a 3-game winning streak. And if let's say they go 3-1 in that winning streak, and let's say they go undefeated the rest of the way, otherwise, like that's a team that is playing some amazing football.
But if they go 2-2 against what is the toughest portion and the only really difficult portion of their schedule,
then they're just a good team that,
then it's the same sort of conversation as the Vikings started that stretch where it's like, oh, you got to play these teams. How are you going to do? Well, they're 1-1 right now.
Yeah. And they came up, by the way, because last segment, Schaef asked, who would we have next on our power rankings from the NFC that we have not talked about? And so we've already talked about the Eagles, the Vikings, the
My
Cowboys.
thing is, I don't know what to do with them until that stretch happens. And it's like, okay, if you go, you handle the Bucks, you handle kicking the crap out of the Cardinals isn't going to do a lot for them.
Yeah.
And the fact that they are playing in maybe what is the worst division in the NFC?
NFC South.
The NFC South is pretty bad. But the Falcons beat them by 14.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I think so if I had to pick between the Bucks and the 49ers, like right now today,
on like what you think?
which one I would not play or be more scared of in January?
Pick the
I think
Bucks?
it's the Bucks.
Wow, really?
I think they're going to be one of those weird cross sports reference coming here, like LeBron Cavs teams that didn't do a lot in the regular season, that suddenly it's the playoffs. And it's like, I don't really want to be across from that.
Because you just don't want to play Tom Brady.
You don't want to play Tom Brady. You want to play Leonard Fournette. And those are
Mike Evans.
If Mike Evans and Julio Jones and Chris Godwin kind of get it going and they keep Tom Brady upright, the Vikings secondary is going to get torched.
Yeah.
The Vikings run defense is going to that is a horrible matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. I would rather play Dallas than Tampa.
Well, that's a bad
And they lost 40-3 to Dallas.
So you want to lose 100-3 now in the playoffs, Schaef?
I think the Bucks would be more likely to put up 100.
I think the positive about playing the Bucks, though, is I don't really trust their head coach.
Yes.
And I know I say that as a guy who roots for a team that
Well,
is led by Mike McCarthy.
Sure.
Super
But
Bowl champion. I
It is worth
remind
pointing
you.
out, as much as I make fun of Mike McCarthy, he's miles better than Todd Bowles.
Way better than Todd Bowles. Way better than Todd
Miles
Bowles.
better than
Do we have any other NFC teams that we would even want to discuss in this neighborhood? Because as I scroll back up and
What
look
do
at
you do with the Seahawks? Because I'm not.
they're a fun, cute story. They're a
There's
fun,
really
cute
not
story.
much there. The Falcons are like the Seahawks, but with less wins.
Yeah, and a less fun home environment. Like
Also, just like how they score points is inexplicable.
Whereas on the other side, if I look at the AFC and we're just talking like a top 10 power ranking, so we're extending it.
Of the AFC?
We have not, no, just of the league. We have not mentioned the Ravens. I didn't have the Titans in my top 5, but they would be right out there on the edge. Maybe I'm giving too much credit for, again, last year, but I think the Bengals are another team to
he's
watch.
in on the Bengals.
In the second half. I mean, in on the
I thought
Bengals.
the Steelers were going to win that game multiple times on Sunday night.
I'm very happy.
Because
with
I had
James.
to turn my attention to that pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, you were forced to because CBS was like, you're not watching the Cowboys-Vikings game
I was
anymore.
thinking in my head, I don't recall a lot of times where, as a Vikings fan, I haven't been able to watch them. When I can recall where they put teams in that fashion.
Yeah.
I cannot recall like losing so badly where they're just apologetically like,
sorry,
we can't show you this. anymore.
It's
There's
weird.
young children watching.
And it says a lot not to
Put
be
you out of your misery.
not to be TV ratings guy, because you know that I am not.
Big TV ratings.
But
guy.
it's the Cowboys, and they're like, we're gonna move away from the Cowboys game. It's like, damn, that just doesn't happen very often. I like that the NFL. We're not gonna get to hot takes. I like that the college football hot takes.
I have one.
Do you have
I have
one?
a really spicy
Okay,
one,
well, maybe we could do this right now then, because one of my hot takes with the NFL is also in relation with college football, and that is, I actually like that we don't know who, outside the Chiefs maybe. I like that it's just kind of like a average to whatever way you want to refer to these teams as. I think college football is the same way this year. I think it's fun. Some people are like, I don't like the NFL this year. Everyone's average. I think it's fun because I think the playoffs are going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And who knows what's going to happen.
But that's kind of what I mean, where it's like I could put the teams three through what, like 8 or 9 in my rankings, and you could mix any of those up.
Yeah.
And it's like, can't really argue it that much.
Yeah.
That's why I think it feels like if the Chiefs don't take advantage of kind of a soft NFL this year, or a soft top of the league, it would be a bigger waste than in 2020 when they just ran into a team that was equipped to beat them down in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like this feels like it. If you're a Chiefs fan, like it really does feel like it's Super Bowl win or bust,
which is nuts
because you are miles above everyone else.
And
It's
you
kind
have
of
the
a
best
weird pressure.
quarterback.
Yeah.
You're the best quarterback. What's your college football hot take? You said
It
it's
fits
spicy.
in line with this.
Okay.
It's basically that Georgia is propping up an otherwise incredibly average SEC. These teams aren't good.
I agree.
Like Alabama's not that good.
No.
LSU isn't that good. Tennessee isn't that good. Georgia is propping that up, and even then, they're fine.
They're
But
not
the
as
gap
good as
between
last year.
Georgia and Michigan and Ohio State isn't,
Yeah.
that sizable.
Gosh, I hope that results in something fun
But
happening in the
what
playoffs.
it gets to is all of the sort of like talk that we have about, who's the best 2-loss team in the country. It always defaults to like an SEC team, but it's just they're all so average. Like none of these teams are that good. It really feels like it's Georgia, Ohio State, and then I don't know who the next 2 teams are going to be. But I think the gap for
TCU?
those are pretty large.
TCU and USC maybe.
I think Kansas State's going to beat TCU in that.
Yeah,
title
we
game.
talked about that
And I think
earlier.
Notre Dame's going to beat USC on Saturday.
Wow. See, I like USC to win this week,
And then lose?
and then probably lose. That's what
To-
I think. Well, let's see.
It's
I think Oregon
for
State
now.
might see, but I think Oregon State might win the Civil War if Bo Nix is still hurt. What?
I mean, I know it's the name of the rivalry game.
Oh, I still
think
call it that.
out of context,
Cancel
it's
culture
hilarious.
hasn't come from me.
But it's just anytime you can hear the phrase Oregon State can win the Civil
War. Yeah, well, the North's going to win again. So I like them, and then
It's a surprise to some history books.
and so it might be Washington that they would play. Maybe Washington.
So I had to look this up.
What's the yeah? Tell me about
because of some Kalen DeBoer talk. A lot has to happen for
Washington?
to get into the title game.
So they would need Oregon State.
You need Oregon. So first they have to beat Washington State in the Apple Cup, one of the greatest games of all time, the Apple Cup.
We love the Apple Cup.
So they have
I
to
like
beat
Apple
Washington
Cups.
State. So that has to happen. So
Okay.
that's one.
Okay.
Oregon State has to win. That's 2.
Yep.
And then they would need both
Utah
and UCLA to lose
because they don't
to
have
Colorado and someone else that's
Okay.
equally as unlikely to win a game.
So maybe it's Utah that's in the
Might be
Pac-12
California.
championship.
So if Oregon loses, it'd be Utah that will get it.
Okay.
Or because they don't have divisions, UCLA could end up sneaking in. If both Oregon and Utah lose, UCLA moves up through the tiebreaker above Washington.
Wow, poor Washington.
Yeah.
They need all the help in the world.
Yep.
Well, maybe USC wins then. Maybe they're going to the playoff.
We're kind of at the point where, if you're Penn State, if you were Tennessee, being on the outside looking in on conference championship weekend is a good thing for you.
Yeah, unless you have 2 losses.
You
So-
can't really,
USC would be a fun wrinkle in the playoff. I don't think that they are a top 4 team.
good.
See, I think their offense is awesome. And I think that would be
Is it? Because when I bet on them, they have made me very sad this year.
Well, when you don't bet on them, they, in theory, would have made you very happy. I think if they put together their best performance, which is asking a lot, I think they could beat a team. But would I pick them to beat a team? No. I think they'll lose in the playoffs.
I think
if they
they're a
make it.
year away from
Yeah.
getting into sort of.
But I think Caleb Williams is just good enough. And I
Yeah.
had my doubts coming into this year. I was like, are we sure he's that good? Like, I thought he was fine last year at Oklahoma. He is. He made some big time throws.
Imagine if he had chosen Wisconsin.
Imagine. Thank God he didn't. I mean, it still wouldn't have
Well,
gone very
for
well.
him.
Yeah. Yeah, for a poor guy.
Yeah.
We would have all said Caleb Williams sucks.
He'd have been backing up Graham Mertz.
Oh, what a disgusting life that would be. There's a quarterback on that roster, Schaef. There are multiple quarterbacks that are not good enough to get the job over Graham Mertz.
This is not good.
What does that say about
Graham
you?
Mertz has 20 touchdowns to 9 interceptions this year.
Yeah, well, he's still
These are not numbers I would believe if I didn't see them right in front of my face.
Checking out the comment section on YouTube. Matt says, but the Cowboys were frauds last year. Yeah, well, screw you, Matt. Go Cowboys. That's what I say to that.
Yeah.
I got it.
I don't know how he's going to respond to you.
I really hope that they're good.
Do you feel the weight of pressure now after that win? Like you gotten yourself a little bit?
No,
going?
everyone's it's the same thing. They suck in the playoffs until they do something in the playoffs. Will
That's
I talk
why
myself
that's
into
why
it?
I
Of
wasn't that
course.
worked up about last week because it's like, well,
This
they
stuff
weren't going to
happens.
go 50 or 16-1.
Yeah, honestly, now losses annoy me because I want to try to sneak in and win that division. That's what I want.
So you need 2 losses from the Eagles
Really
to get
just-
ahead and then win that game again, or 1 loss plus a win.
There we go.
But also not drop another game.
Yeah.
What does Dallas's schedule look like?
So they have the Giants this week. They still have Washington a second time.
Are you more worried
They have
about
Tennessee? They have
you
the
more worried about
Colts.
the Commanders or the G-men? Right?
Commanders? Absolutely. That's the
Commanders
last week.
look-
Commanders are sneaky.
Looking back on it, I think the Vikings got kind of lucky to get out of that because they're
actually kind of
like
good.
a tough football team.
So they have the Giants Thanksgiving, then the Colts, then the Texans, then the Jaguars. So like if they get by this one, they should. They're looking good. But then here's how they finish: Eagles Christmas Eve, and then 2 road games at Tennessee, at Commanders. So yeah. So the 4 of the next 5 are at home, but they got to be in prime spot after the Eagles game, or then I'm just looking at wild card scenarios.
If they beat the Eagles, I am taking my life savings and putting it on the Titans that next week.
And that's a short week. It's 5 days later. They're playing on Thursday.
And that's a Derrick Henry's going to get 40 carries kind of game.
That's going to be.
But that's also the kind of game where the Cowboys swarm Tannehill. It could be,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, it could be 40-3. We've seen it happen.
Every time we hang out and talk NFL, I'm just reminded about how much I love talking about the NFL.
Yeah, it's the best league.
Gosh, it's so good. This week's Zone Deal is for 72 Table and Tap, located next to Ralston Arena. They have a ton of great stuff, whether it's beers on tap, whiskeys, smoked wings, and a whole lot more. This deal on Friday, Black Friday, is for 2 passes, only $29. All the details can be found at 1620thezone.com.
Hey, you can help a child in need experience the joy of opening a gift this Christmas morning. You can join 1620 The Zone. We're back again to stuff the truck to benefit Toys for Tots.
Friday, December 2nd from 10 till 6 and Saturday, December 3rd from 11 till 4 at the Zone Studio parking lot just off 50th and Dodge.
Help those in need this holiday season by donating a new unwrapped toy. All the info is at 1620thezone.com.
It's Stuff the Truck to benefit Toys for Tots with J-Tech Construction and Solar and 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Very pleasant late this afternoon with the temperatures in the upper 50s to near 60. Clear to partly cloudy skies tonight. Lows drop back in the low and mid 20s, and then mostly sunny to partly cloudy on Wednesday. Still very nice. Highs in the mid 50s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center, we've got an accident on the exit ramp of the JFK at Fort Kirk Road, as well as a disabled truck on I-80 West at L Street. We also have slow-moving traffic on Dodge going both ways in between 72nd and 90th, as well as on West Center Road all the way from 204th Street to 120th. Remember to buckle those seatbelts. I'm Dan Campanen.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Burton AC Plumbing, Heating, and More.
Hi, I'm Mark Evans, owner of Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More. Right now, we'll open your drain line for only $93 or it's free. Call for details or request service at justcallburton.com.
The college basketball season is here, and if you're looking for tickets to the biggest games, be sure to check out ticketsforless.com. Whether you love the Huskers, Creighton, or UNO, ticketsforless.com has the best selection of seats with all no per ticket fees. Plus, you can save on every ticket when you order using the promo code THEZONE at ticketsforless.com. That's right. Simply enter the code THEZONE at checkout, and you'll save on basketball tickets to Nebraska, Creighton, and UNO. And you'll save just because you're listening to the show as well. Shop for seats for your favorite events now and save at ticketsforless.com. The world's biggest soccer tournament is back, and FanDuel wants you to get in all the action when America takes the pitch. Because when you bet on Team USA in group play, all customers get free bets back if they don't win. All tournament long, FanDuel has your favorite bet types, including some that are exclusive to soccer. Plus, just like any other sport, you can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday with a same-game parlay. However you want to play, be sure to back the red, white, and blue because all customers, and I mean all customers, get free bets back if Team USA doesn't win. This is all you have to do with FanDuel. Just sign up with promo code ZONE if you don't already have an account. Make every moment more with FanDuel. It is America's #1 sportsbook. All you have to do to get in on the big soccer tournament, just sign up with promo code ZONE. 21 over, present in Iowa. Refund issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expires 7 days after receipt. Maximum free bet ranging from $5 to $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Listen to Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay Overtime, the Creighton men's basketball postgame show on 1620 The Zone. Live from DJ's Dugout downtown. It's right after every home game, presented by Barry Law. Exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone.
The Zone Hotline is powered by Los Hills Harley-Davidson, your home in the hills. This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
So he's got it. He's got the man's junk in his hands.
The 1620 The Zone.
Josh Peterson, Mike Schaefer, Nick Grimm, as we roll on this Tuesday. By the way, Robbie Lula sits in tomorrow for John. And depending on the result of the game tonight between Creighton and Arkansas, we could have a full show. We could have like an hour and a half. Who knows? Who knows,
Is there a
Mike
third
Schaefer?
option?
Nope, just those two.
We're going to do a One Beer Friday Wednesday edition.
We'll do a One Beer Friday Wednesday edition. Are you doing anything fun the night before? Everyone, always says, this is the best drinking night of the year. Doing anything fun?
When I would go back to Columbus for Thanksgiving on Thursdays, it was a pretty awesome night to go out, especially the closer you were towards your high school days. At this point, I don't go back to Columbus as much anymore, and I don't do it the night before Thanksgiving. I think Shelby and I are just going to go grab some happy hour beer somewhere, and then I don't know, see what happens after that.
I'm running a half marathon on Thursday, so.
You're
You're running a marathon?
Half marathon, Nick.
What's a half? So
it's half of a marathon. What do you mean?
You start a full marathon, you get halfway, you're like, all right, I'm out. Bye, everybody.
No, the course is half of a marathon. Why is that so difficult to understand?
You could just tell people it's like
13.1 miles.
You just say that.
So a marathon isn't the act of running with a bunch of people. It's
Marathon
specifically
is
26 miles.
0.2, yes.
Okay.
You think it was just like running?
I thought a marathon was just the event of a bunch of people running. I thought it was just
no. It's the distance.
Okay.
Yeah. So there will also be a 5K and a 10K.
I didn't know it was a unit of measurement. I thought it was just what the thing was called.
So you become like, how many races do you plan on doing now a year? Like this is like,
well, just
it's a sickness, isn't
this
it?
is like the third or fourth one in the last 2 months, right?
I did like a short. I mean, the one that I did a couple weeks ago was just like a real chill one.
Congrats on Boston, though.
I mean, yes, it was. Thank
Did you get a bib?
Yes.
Did you get a sticker?
No, I got.
Did you
medal,
get a
though.
or no
bagels? Yeah, it was
there
good. This is my third of the last.
Congrats on the marathon.
since
Here's
Chicago.
a bagel.
Next year, I'm doing 2 fulls.
So on like one of the best days of the year, you're going to
Thanksgiving.
wake up and then run 13.1 miles.
Yep, a half marathon, Nick.
Now, how does this ruin other people's Thanksgiving?
Doesn't ruin anyone's Thanksgiving.
Okay. How early is it? Is it like right away in the
8
morning?
o'clock. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be done.
So then you'll not do anything the night before.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'll participate in all the.
That aspect.
No, but then I get to eat as much as I please because I just ran. I
How
burned
long
all
does a
those-
half marathon take?
Americans
you, like 20
eat
minutes?
as much as they please every day of the week.
I know, but
It's part of society.
this is the reason. This is one of the reasons I run is so I can eat whatever I want. Nick, it depends on how fast I want to run it. I'm telling myself right now, I'll run
so
it
you're
slow.
gonna slack.
Yeah,
You're
well,
gonna
I
slack
haven't
off.
trained for this, and I'm still, body's still recovering from the full.
But you're
I don't
still
know, like an
running
hour
every
40.
day, or
Yeah.
like most days.
Yeah, I run probably 5 days a week right
So
now, 6 days a
what
week.
would be the difference of training for the half marathon and not training for that?
Just haven't had any build up towards it. My diet's been pretty crappy. I'm, drinking a beer most weeknights, whereas I, try to cut that out before a race. So now Black Friday, having a lovely day. Lovely day.
Oh, you're going to allow yourself to have fun?
A lot of fun.
Wow.
Waking up early again, but this time going to go get some of the Goose Island stouts.
Oh, yeah. You did tell me about that.
Honk, honk.
Yep. And then go watch USA, go out of town, watch the US of A, watch Nebraska,
Wow.
Iowa. So and have a few of those beers. So hopefully, Trev, no announcement on Friday because I won't be able to participate.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a Friday night announcement.
Good.
So,
Good.
I mean, there's no.
That would suck. I'd be so mad.
There's no reason to. I'd be pretty surprised if it's a Saturday announcement with, the biggest game in your conference happening.
Yeah.
At that time, it'd be kind of a weird time to announce a.
You know how they have before the season?
Now, could something get leaked? Sure.
Oh God, I hope not. Don't do that.
Well,
Let us watch football. We have a plan if it's leaked. We have a plan for that if it's reported.
Well,
And that plan would result in us talking. So
wow.
Yeah.
Even on a leak. Where you don't. It's not even university official. You're gonna go with it.
We'll do something. We're not. I don't think we'll do the full shebang.
Well, okay, so now you've opened Pandora's box here, and I'm probably ruining whatever segment this was going to be.
No, it's almost over. So,
what level of
reporter?
Yeah.
Oh, you would. I mean, it has to be someone that we know.
If an
it's
SB Nation blog puts it out there, that
Corn Nation does.
Well, let's not even say it's Corn Nation.
Oh,
let's say it's coming from the other side of it.
Okay.
What's
purple wildcat powercat.com.
Whatever. Yeah.
If they reported it,
right.
No. No offense, SB Nation, but no.
What if it's a recruiting service?
Absolutely. Like if it was you?
Sure, but like not us.
You just wanted us
if
to
it's coming
say
from
you.
the other side, like you don't know, like.
Well, I guess I would ask. Let's pretend it's from your company. I'd ask you, like, hey, what do you think of this place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it's a TV reporter?
Basically, you're asking what if it's like the Auburn situation last night? Good question.
You got a plan in place, and now I want to know, like,
I guess we always just start. You know what we always say?
Because the assumption is that someone
It's
from
Feldman.
Nebraska will.
I always
rate it.
I always think it's Feldman. Because he is, he knows all the agents. I'm always like, it's Feldman.
So the last few hires, the World Herald was like the first one to do the Frost thing, right?
Were they?
I think during the third quarter of that game, they put out there.
I thought it was McMurphy who broke that one.
I thought it was the World Herald.
Okay.
But it could be.
I
don't follow McMurphy.
I was at a restaurant with friends.
Generally, I find it funny.
Anti-McMurphy.
I'm not anti-McMurphy. I just don't know. He didn't do anything for me.
Okay. He saved Nebraska, Oklahoma. Thank you for your service, Brett.
Yes, he saved them.
He did by announcing
It was him.
Single-handedly.
Yep. Thank you for your service.
He also really played up some allegations that weren't true. So there's that.
Did no one announced Mike Riley? That was the university.
That was the university.
Props to them.
And then Bo,
everybody knew.
I think, but everybody knew Frost, but someone still goes first.
Yeah, I don't remember who went first on, but I was in college.
It was a Journal Star.
Okay.
I think it was a Journal Star.
So the local folks have either gotten one or maybe two people in the last hire. Who got Callahan? Do you remember? That's a long time ago.
I don't know. That was, because media was consumed so differently. Even with Bo, it was consumed really differently in 2007. So,
Twitter.
How does something break?
Right, people still use newspapers.
That's what it was.
2000.
So that's like a word of mouth break or a website break, and it's like how does that even get
MySpace
local
members?
scroll on KETV? Yeah.
So
we've talked about I think it has to be a certain level of reporter, but yeah.
That was my curiosity.
I think you just wanted us to say if it was you, Schaef. I think you just wanted to hear that.
That'd be pretty badass.
I feel fairly confident that I have at least risen to the level that, because I'll put it this way: if 24/7 Sports and if Husker 24/7 specifically is going to be the first person to put out there that Nebraska is hiring a coach, we're probably at 4 to 5 levels of confirmation.
You'd have to be so locked in
to do that, because last night's a perfect example of it. Like I watched it, I saw that tweet. Someone in my network retweeted
the Lane
it.
Kiffin one.
4 minutes after it happened, and I was like, I am going to watch how this plays out, because I immediately was like, I don't know that I believe him.
Yeah.
And then I like Lane's reaction. I was like,
CBS, and you don't have to say anything here. Your parent company, they tweet it, and then they end up deleting it. And so, that was quite.
What is that?
One question about this. So you know how before the season, all the analytics people, they'll have it looks like a bell curve, really, of the most likely record for a team. So you'll have 30%, 9-3, whatever. Okay, so if we were to do a bell curve, how many days represent the biggest peak for when we learn officially?
Okay, so that peak would have to start climbing
Saturday.
Or
I guess
right?
Saturday, yeah.
Saturday, it's got to start to climb.
So Friday, it's basically at
but
zero.
the high point of that peak to me
is Monday.
Is going to be Sunday, probably at about 2, and then it starts to like come back down, I think.
Interesting.
Well, maybe that's I
feel like
think
we'll have to know by like 10 in the morning.
I think Sunday is the most likely. So if you're giving me the 3-day stretch of Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Sunday's the most likely, Monday's the next, and then Saturday's the least.
That's what I think too. That's what I think too.
So I think that's why I want that to be the top.
Yeah.
But I obviously failed a lot of math classes, so I don't know how that
Me too.
all.
I always think too with press releases.
I never worried about the curve because I knew I'd be on the bottom.
Nice. I think it's going to happen before like 10 a.m. because then you do the press conference at lunchtime. Because what's the thing? I remember hearing this in the
They
past.
did the 3:00 press conference, the opening day of the NFL. There's no. I don't think there's going to be a lunchtime press conference.
But they have for other coaches that they hired, right? When was
Frost
Frost?
was like 2 p.m.
Yeah, but that got announced the day before, wasn't it?
Sure.
I guess that's the question.
Riley was in the morning.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Riley was like at 9:30 in the morning because it got announced 3 days before.
Hey, by the way, speaking of coaching stuff, Kalen DeBoer has agreed to a contract extension through 2028. That just came down from
Take him off the list.
Christian Capel, who covers Washington for The Athletic. So he says expect an announcement soon.
I put this on our message board yesterday. I had spent a little bit of time trying to figure out if there was anything to Kalen DeBoer because his name would pop up.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt a lot to me that it was like someone Nebraska media assumed would be contacted, maybe more than
he actually was.
Did. And then I know Dennis Dodd from CBS had a line in there today, and it was curious to me because everything else didn't really fit.
Yeah.
Hey, it's fascinating watching all the coverage of this and then having some of the information that I do and then wondering like none of this seems to be lining up. So I'm involved with it and you're involved with it. And then I think about it. If you're a fan, like this would just be maddening.
Yep.
Every other link you're opening up is just like, well, I don't know what this is because this guy wrote this and
that
this guy
goes
wrote
against
that.
this information.
Yeah.
Chris, one more tweet before we go to break. Chris says, nightmare scenario. Trev holds a presser on Saturday to simply update the fans and media on the search. No new hire. Just an update a la Steve Peterson 2004.
Oh, that would never happen. He would not do that.
That would be a disaster. That would be, I'm with you.
It'd be a little funny.
It would, to a certain type of person, Nick, it would indeed be funny. To me, that would be hell.
I feel like the next time we hear from Trev,
it will be
when he's announcing the coach
agree.
sitting next to him.
The more likely thing is actually if let's pretend they don't have someone, by Sunday, we're just not going to hear from him. But he's not going to give an updated press conference on we don't have our guy. He's not going to do that. Everything's going great. We actually wanted to do 80 plus days. We will. This is awesome. This is awesome. All right, we come back. We have some unsportsmanlike content.
Okay.
Today in unsportsmanlike content.
I didn't look at the email.
Topics include the New York Jets.
All right, I have thoughts.
Easy Ed McCaffrey. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Oh, yeah.
And EA Sports.
It's in the game.
When we return here on 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Scott Graham of Westwood One. Join us Thursday for a triple helping of football on Thanksgiving. First, the Detroit Lions host Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Then it's an NFC East matchup when the Giants face the Cowboys in Dallas. And finally, the New England Patriots meet the Minnesota Vikings on Thanksgiving night. Our special holiday coverage begins at 12 noon Eastern Time. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Kathy Knoyer. 'Tis the season at Glasshouse Market within Knoyer Garden Center. We'd like to be a part of your family's holiday tradition. Whether you're looking for a gift for that special someone or a wreath for your front door, we'd like to invite you to shop our stunning holiday market, full of Christmas decor, novelty items, and fresh greens. Shop Glasshouse Market located within Knoyer Garden Center on 66th Street between Cornhusker and Highway 370 in Papillion.
At Knoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
Are you that relative who's always asked to bring plates and napkins to the family dinner? Bring brews instead, especially quality, locally brewed Nebraska beers and ciders. The Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild wants you to know that local brewers are working on special seasonal beverages to make your holiday family get-togethers a day full of fun, football, and feasting. Lots and lots of feasting. Plus, you'll never be asked to bring plates and napkins again, especially if your goofy cousin from Iowa brings that state's favorite beer. Cheers.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $20.10 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/career. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction. Presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more. Join the show immediately after the game and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction on 101.9 The Keg and 1620 The Zone.
If you're in charge of the company holiday party, Blackstone Meatball has you covered. Blackstone Meatball is all about hosting and catering great food for whatever reason you get together. Work with their skilled team to build a customizable menu that includes meatballs, pastas, veggies, side dishes, and a whole lot more. Visit theblackstonemeatball.com for all the details. The Blackstone Meatball in the Blackstone District on 38th and Harney and out west on Chicago Street off 180th and West Dodge.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike. All right, time for some unsportsmanlike content. But first, Steve says you're seriously going to run 13 miles, 13.1, Steve, to celebrate Thanksgiving, and you think people are weird for liking turkey. I'm not doing it to celebrate Thanksgiving. You know what I'm doing it for?
America.
Well, I'm doing it because we're raising money for the food bank of the Midlands. I'm bringing food. We're helping feed people. If that's something you're against, Mike Schaefer and Nick Grimm, I don't know what to say. That's pretty heartless of you guys. All right, let's get to some content, heartless Nick.
The New York Jets head coach Robert Saleh was asked if Zach Wilson would be this week's starter and responded, "Not right now, not until I'm done evaluating everything." This came one day after Wilson was asked if he let down the defense, responding, No. Is this the end of the road for Wilson's time in New York?
We're getting pretty damn close. I've never been a Zach Wilson guy. I don't think he's very good.
I would like to meet the Zach Wilson guy.
Well, I think they're women in their 40s or 50s.
Fair.
Is what they are.
I meant more the ones about his football.
Yeah, I don't think those exist. Maybe a BYU fan or two. But no, to not take the blame when he was the defense couldn't have played any better. Special teams should certainly apologize as well. But yeah, how could the locker room, want that guy to be their leader? Nah.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to who they think gives them the best chance to win, because they have a pretty narrow scope as to how they can win football games. I mean, you got to be able to protect the ball a little bit. You got to take advantage of the opportunities when they're in front of you. And Wilson did not look like someone that could do that. Now, at the same time, that offensive line is really bad right
Yes.
now. So it's not all just him. But even when he has the time to throw, it just does not feel like there's a lot that's going well.
The World Cup is 3 days old. Go soccer. How have you enjoyed it so far? And do you like that it's being played in the fall?
I absolutely hate that it's being played in the fall. I mean, the summer is much better. I would be more apt to likely do the outdoor watch party stuff or be at places where that's more of a possibility. It's also just there's too much else going on. Like
Especially
one
right
of the
now.
great things about the World Cup when it would happen in June is it basically just gets to run, in the middle of the day. And I have the high school playoffs going on, coaching search, Nebraska's end of their tumultuous season. Like I feel like I haven't been able to sit and focus on it much at all. I've just caught bits and pieces other than I watched the entire United States game. And that left me with a very familiar feeling with them being unable to close out a game.
With you entirely, man. Like in the summer, it's funny because I'm still working, but it's a different mindset in the
Different
summer.
vibe.
It is in different summer versus fall versus a coaching search versus chasing down things versus it being a game week. I'm hoping that as it goes on, maybe I'll feel a little bit more invested. But honestly, man, like I keep forgetting to turn it on sometimes in my office while I'm working.
Yeah.
Like I haven't even really had it. I watched the entirety of the U.S. match yesterday, but I have not watched as much of the other matches as I would have liked. So I'm going to try to do better in the coming days.
I think the next 3 days I'm going to watch a lot of soccer.
Black Friday is going to be a ton of fun. Watching that. Ton of fun.
Schaef, you're a baseball boy.
Yeah.
Where do you think Aaron Judge will end up this offseason?
There's a lot of talk about San Francisco, and I would actually like that a lot. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Get him out of the AL?
Well, but it's more so like the Giants just kind of need like a star. Like they lost, Buster Posey retired. They won those 3 titles. They had like 105 wins and lost to the Dodgers in the first round last year. So they have some good teams still out there in them, but they need like a player attached to it. I'd like the idea of him hitting like Titanic home runs into the bay. Like,
that'd be fun.
I don't know. A lot of it just lines up where visually it is appealing to me with the idea of Aaron Judge playing for San Francisco. I don't hate it if he returns to New York because I think it just kind of fits. It works well. Like that stadium works well for him. I like Aaron Judge a lot, actually. I mean, despite my general complaining of the Yankee Stadium, like I think he's good for baseball. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But I think the Giants would be my preference.
Northern Colorado has fired Easy Ed McCaffrey after going 6-16 as head coach. One report said he didn't provide scouting reports for opponents, installed plays the day before games, had no relationships with players, messed with player scholarships, and made his son's girlfriend director of operations. Which of those options is the worst thing he did?
I mean, the last one by far, right? The son's girlfriend? That's like nepotism in law.
Well, I think that he made his son a offensive coordinator when he'd never been a college coach
What the
before
hell?
either. So
Luke?
He has a lot of sons. Another one
This
of his
guy
sons
loves sex.
was
Congrats on the sex.
So I think Dylan McCaffrey was his quarterback.
Did he leave Michigan to go there?
Yeah, I think
You're
so.
right.
Yeah, so
Dylan McCaffrey.
he had one son as his quarterback, another son as his offensive coordinator. Dylan McCaffrey at least had experience.
That's true.
Seems like it was fine that was what happened, but I think it's Max McCaffrey was the one that's the offensive coordinator who got in a fight with a fan he was being made fun of because the fan thought his pants were really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's being heckled for these pants, and he broke a clipboard and threw it at the fan and then had to apologize.
Odd times.
Yeah.
Odd times.
I just bypassed all your options and gave you everything about offensive coordinator McCarthy. McCaffrey. Sorry.
Hey, you're thinking of my head coach.
Whoa. McCaffrey. And when I said that, I was like, that's not right.
Yeah.
McCaffrey, that was the worst / best of all of it.
Yikes.
Nebraska and Oklahoma resumed their rivalry, back on Thanksgiving for the first time in decades. On the hardwood? Between stuffing your faces and watching football, how much hoops do you plan on watching this Thursday?
I don't even know if it'll be on a TV. I'm not in charge of the
Zero.
It's a road game Thanksgiving. So
yeah.
I'm not in charge of like what's going to be on the television. If I can sneak away and watch anything, I'm probably going to be keeping an eye on football.
Hey, you're watching.
Pretty sure every
You're
NFL
watching
game
your
is-
outside the top 5 power ranked Dallas Cowboys.
Well, that's at the same time
as this game.
afternoon.
Yeah, this is like a 4:00 game,
Oh,
right?
okay, I thought it was earlier.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good Thanksgiving.
So I
Lions,
might be on
Lions,
the road.
Bills. Oh,
How about Lions Bills?
it's a good game, Nick. The Lions have won 3
Lions
in a
Bills
row.
is a good game.
Yeah, thank you.
Mostly
Cowboys
because
Giants.
The Bills have the ability to they could go up 21-0, and the Lions have the ability to then keep scoring and make it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I feel bad. I won't be able to watch your team on Thanksgiving night because I'm seeing the new Knives Out movie.
Oh,
I
wow.
thought you were going to
Out.
say Avatar.
No, hell no. I haven't seen the first one, Nick.
I am very excited for the next Knives Out. I was very
I've heard
excited
it's
for the
good.
first one.
Yeah.
I love
First one's great.
EA Sports is delaying their college football video game to 2024, with one reason being the hope to include real players. Smart move?
Yeah, I mean, look, if the reason that they are not unveiling it next year is because they haven't figured out the name, image, likeness component, then this is definitely the smart move. I want to be able to, if I'm not going to play it because I don't play video games anymore, but if I were to play it, I'd want Casey Thompson to be the quarterback for Nebraska, so making sure you have all that locked down, certainly an important key.
I think,
but very sad for those
give
who
the
wanted to
people
play.
what they want. If you have gameplay issues figured out and you have the licensing to have the teams, even if you don't have the real players on it, release a $20, $30 version that just allows people to play. Give them their fix. Give them the opportunity to enjoy your product, and then set everybody up. Because one of the scary things, it has been years since there was a college football game. Like if you put all of your eggs in the basket that you're releasing it in 2024, the gameplay's got to be good.
It better be.
This
a good
would at least
video
give
game.
you a chance to trial and error it and figure out, okay, people didn't really like this, so we got to get back to this. No, I'm kind of surprised. I think you could release a condensed version of the game that avoids any of those issues, that allows people to figure out if they're even going to like this.
Interesting.
The insane thing is in Madden 2022, 21, they had their story mode where you could pick a college out of a list it gave you, and it was a 6-minute game, but you played 2-minute quarters.
And wasn't that
you could play as Nebraska and Ohio State?
Now, was that the exact same gameplay style as Madden?
Yeah.
So there was no difference between how those operated. Like
that's
if you
one
were
of the
playing,
things about the old
if you're playing
college
a
game.
Patriots versus Steelers game, it'd be the same as if it was Alabama versus Texas Tech.
I don't know because I only played that one thing. They
You were
changed the score
resident
bugs,
game
score
guy
bugs and everything. I just got into Madden, Schaef.
That's right. You just got into football.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right, so that was some unsportsmanlike content. By the way, one of my dear friends, David, says road game Thanksgiving is hilarious. It's a really fun way to describe it. You got a road game.
Every holiday for me anymore is a road game.
When we return, we'll finish up the show. We have Bet of the Day. Also, Justin demands that we talk about Bronco Mendenhall. Justin, we're going to deliver for you. Justin in Virginia demands we talk Bronco. Let's ride. Bet of the Day coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
When's the last time you had your furnace inspected? When's the last time you even had it looked at? Well, right now is a perfect time because winter is here, and McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help. The McCarthy's 1 Hour Comfort Club gives members a twice annual inspection of both your furnace and your AC to make sure everything's going to work smoothly and safely throughout the course of the heating and cooling season. Plus, you also get discounts on repairs, priority service when things get busy, and it all comes for a low monthly fee that will never change for the lifetime of your membership. So keep your family warm and safe this winter. Visit McCarthy's1hour.com and join the McCarthy's Comfort Club today. McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. The folks who are always on time, or you don't pay a dime. The McCarthy's Comfort Club. Find out more today. Visit McCarthy's1hour.com. McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air.
The holidays are here. This holiday season, we encourage you to come support our local stores in Omaha. And Westwood Plaza has everything you need to find that perfect gift. Ostad's Golf inside Westwood Plaza is a family-owned business with strong Midwest roots. At Ostad's, they pride themselves on creating experiences that turn customers into lifelong friends. Golf equipment may be what they sell, but at the end of the day, they're really in the business of fun. Come and see them for all your gift-giving needs at Westwood Plaza, 121st and Center. In Japanese, Zan means something akin to remaining, while Shin means mind or heart. In martial arts, Zanshin refers to a particular state of heightened awareness. The dojo, Zanshin Martial Arts, is the school of the remaining heart. Their mission is to support our community as a safe space for the improvement and protection of all. Get your loved one the gift of Zanshin Martial Arts this holiday season. Come see what they're about on 125th and Center inside Westwood Plaza. Everything you need to shop locally for the holidays is at Westwood Plaza in Omaha.
Right now, buy $500 or more in gorgeous Greenberg's jewelry and receive an additional set of 1/3 carat diamond stud earrings valued at $500 for free. Spend $1,000 or more to receive an additional 1/3 carat diamond bezel pendant valued at $1,000 for free. Spend $3,000 or more in fabulous Greenberg's jewelry and receive an additional 1 carat diamond tennis bracelet valued at $3,000 absolutely free during the pre-holiday extravaganza at Greenberg's. But don't wait. This offer ends Black Friday weekend or while supplies last. Some restrictions apply. It's the perfect opportunity to buy 2 fabulous gifts for the holidays for the price of 1. Or maybe you want to keep one for yourself during Greenberg's Jewelers pre-holiday extravaganza. Greenberg's Jewelers, a cut above the rest. West Roads Mall.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory, explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
It's unsportsmanlike conduct.
I hated that whole segment as much as you did.
On 1620 The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you? Now, it's time for the unsportsmanlike conduct bet of the day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by nobody.
You gotta be kidding.
Really, we don't have a sponsor. Sorry.
All right, yesterday in Bet of the Day, Jack Mitchell was in. He had the over in Argentina, Saudi Arabia. Congrats to Jack on that winner chicken dinner. Nick and I both had the Niners -10. That was easy peasy. I'm going with the over in tonight's game that you can hear right here on 1620 The Zone. Arkansas and Creighton, 144.5 points. Give me the over. Schaef?
I am
shut
taking,
it, Robbie.
I am taking Morocco to win. Outright win against Croatia at 4 a.m.
What's the
Give me the Moroccans.
What's the line?
I have no idea. I didn't look it up.
Schaef. You're supposed to go to the FanDuel
Schaef.
Sportsbook promo code 1620. Now I got to do your work for you?
This is everyone else's job. I show up and just do it. I tell you what
plus
what's going to happen.
270. Yeah, you didn't bring headphones. Now I have to look things up. Plus 270.
I'm sorry, the radio station can't provide headphones.
You're the radio. You used to be a radio guy. Nick, hurry.
I'm a retired radio guy.
The total on the under for the Lakers and Suns. It's under 227. That's -110.
All right, that's the bet of the day.
Iowa.
Schaef, we appreciate you filling in.
Even if you don't bring your own
last
headphones.
2 minutes,
I feel underappreciated.
You gave me a cookie. This is a fun show.
I did give you a cookie.
If you
I
give
want
it
that
Josh
cookie
a
back.
cookie.
Fun show. Robbie's coming up next with Blue Jay Shoot Around. John has pregame at 6:30. We'll be back tomorrow. Maybe we have an hour and a half show. Maybe we're on for 4 hours. Who knows? Coaching rumors? Who knows? Bye!
Bye.
Omaha's most listened to all sports